disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lobito!
Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Hey, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I got Gonzalo and Jimmy on the line. Jimmy, Gonzalo, are you guys there?
Hey, what's up?
Fantastic.
What's going on, brother?
I am doing fantastic. Everything's going well here. Hope everything's going well for you guys as well over there in the US and in the Philippines. Over here, another rainy day, like I like them. And we got a good show for everybody out there. We had some interesting fights last night, so we're going to discuss all of that. We're going to be opening up the phone lines in about 30 minutes, I would say. So stay tuned for that. Before we get down to the fun, however, you guys know the drill. Let's get the business out of the way. If you want to keep the gravy train a-rolling, you can certainly do so via the Super Chat feature. You can send some shekels our way. But of course, the most important thing is that you continue to like and subscribe and join the BD membership program. That way, you know, if you want to donate via the Super Chat, that's fine. But it's really the membership program. You get more bang for your buck, a couple of emojis, badges, film analysis, special features, in other words. So you get all that. So instead of donating via the Super Chat, that's a better feature. But like I said, spread the BD gospel. Don't let the Crimson Inquisition come to fruition, all right? We don't want that to happen. In any event, shout out to everybody out there in the chat room. Shout out to Lance Meyer, MMA Champ, Cerny Banders, Kenshiro, Oscar Prince Boateng, Fast Car, History LT, Andre Shooter. Shout out to Andre Shooter. Shout out to One Foot Out the Door, Rinnegan Sensei, Shadow Combat, IndVM, what is that, Ivermectin, Soothsayer, Slum Science, The Quacks, Jay Perez, Super Anderson Aldo, Official Scorecard Boxing. Shout out to Official, not that's K-Nut. Many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's get right down to it. Big fights last night. Well, relatively big fights. We had fights in the UK, Minnesota, Las Vegas. So we're going to start off, fellas, with the Team Tszyu fight taking place on Showtime against Terrell Gasha. Team Tszyu looking strong, walking Gasha down, or Gasha, I don't know how you say his name, for the majority of the fight, but he ended up getting dropped in the first round. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago about how Team Tszyu is strong, but he's a little stiff, kind of like his father, a little vulnerable for right hands. What did you guys think of Tszyu's performance last night?
Yeah, comes with the territory, BDA. Yeah, he's a good fighter. I'm not even going to say it's a style thing, maybe, but the approach for this fight, because every fighter is changing their approach depending on the fight, or they're evolving when they're this new in the game. But I'm just going to say his approach, well, he's offensive-minded, that's for sure. But the approach was high risk. He could likely be, he could get knocked out in one of these outings. That remains to be seen, but, he's great at gauging the distance. He doesn't pussyfoot around, He goes forward, finding the range that he needs to land his shots while disregarding what the other fighter's going to do in the beginning, and that could be dangerous. It's like, how the hell, like for example, are you gonna stick your hand in my dog's cage if you barely met him? No, he's gonna bite your hand off. So he gets close to his opponent, and he's great at gauging the distance. And the proof is in the pudding. Once he gets the range down, he doesn't miss. 90% land percentage to the body, keeps connecting, finding the target, lands at will. But the problem is when you try to get that comfortable that early, you risk on getting caught. And that's the problem. But other than that, there's a flip side to everything, BDS. He does it, obviously, because he's trying to gain the distance and find the range to calibrate, his arsenal to land his punches. Mm-hmm. But of course, like in boxing, there's a flip side to everything. You risk while doing that and exposing to something happening to you. And while going into the kitchen that early to try to establish a range, he got caught this time. So I don't know if it's a style thing, but his approach for this fight, maybe he underestimated his opponent's power, but he certainly got hit with that right hand, I believe, and he got dropped. But he took it well, got up, and pretty much started landing at will because he got the distance down.
That's a good point. He's willing to walk his opponents down, and that's always going to leave him open there to counters. Now, it's also a little worrying because Terrell Gosha, or however you spell his name, is he's a fast fighter, but he's not all that. So you have to wonder how Tszyu would handle a guy like Castaño or Jermel Charlo or even an Erickson Lubin fella. Jimmy, what were your impressions on Tim Tszyu's fight last night?
Again, I'm going to go with what you just pointed out. I'll start with that. You go with who he fought. The fight before Gaucher, is that how you say his name? I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
He banged the kid out in second rounds, but I think that was his first stoppage in years. I mean, notorious feather-fisted dude. Put it this way, Tszyu's father would have annihilated that dude 3 rounds. I mean, and he did land a lot of his shots and stuff, but the dude just backed up and sat on the ropes. Pretty much let him tee off on him, and he didn't really respect what was coming back because he hasn't hit that hard. But here's the problem. He didn't hit that hard, but he still dropped him with the right hand. If it was off balance, I don't know, but that's the second time he's been down. He's been down against another lesser opponent too. Stiff. I don't see the quick fashion, the athleticism and the quick fibers that's going to make him an elite fighter. I don't see him being the next fucking 154-pound unified champion. I'd be surprised.
Well, like
what I saw last night.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing the quality that I mentioned when he gauges the distance, he's got that down, and he's not dipping his toes one foot at a time. And you know how fighters usually when they throw punches and they're trying to get the range, they miss, they land, they oftentimes miss a lot. Well, he got hit early, but once he found the range, he consistently kept battering, finding the target and beating his opponent down. So at least that's good. He's got a good sense of what he's trying to do. But when you do that, like I said, there's a flip side to everything. Yeah, that wouldn't be wise against a harder puncher. But once he got the distance down, he went in there. He was a little patient, got the feet, in the correct distance, and then he found he's in range to land the shots because he's already determining where he can land his punches because he's got the distance down. That's about the only thing that I saw good, but it wasn't enough because once he landed, he didn't let up and hardly missed the target. A lot of opponents are gonna hit, miss. No, this guy was consistently hitting after the 4th round on.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the good was that he gauged the distance well after the knockdown, and it just became relatively easy for him. He's a workman-like type guy. He wasn't a flashy performance. It wasn't even all that entertaining. Because I was watching the Burchell fight at the same time, split screen, or on different screens rather. So it was kind of hard to keep track of the Tszyu fight. But I will say though, I think at this point it's clear that some people were comparing Tim Tszyu to Golovkin, and that's insanity because Golovkin has 1 in a million type punching power and better technique, obviously. But Tim Tszyu, like you said, Gonzalo. And a granite chin, yeah. But Jimmy, I think Gonzalo makes a good point. I think there were some good things there from Tim Tszyu, and he's still improving, right? He's still developing. So.
Oh yeah. I was just doing the negative because he was, started out with the positive. I just wanted to, because again, I think I only saw the kid fight one other time, so I wasn't, up on really. But I don't know, maybe because of who his father was, I was holding out hope that, you know what I mean. So maybe I was hoping more than what I saw. I just don't see the athleticism, and he can be hit. And again, he was dropped by a kid who doesn't punch hard. He was dropped by him. So what is he going to do when he gets in against dudes who can crack? And if he gets hurt, can he hang in there? Again, it's just questions. And again, it's still, who knows? Could have been completely off balance. Maybe that was just a complete off balance flash knockdown.
He got caught, man.
Well,
he got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Terrell, I think Goucher or Gaucha. Yeah, look, he was fresh. It was the first round. Put speed behind the shot. When you're initiating and you start off like in the first round, and 154 pounder with length, speed behind the shot. Obviously, a boxer got popped. Any boxer got popped. That's his craft. Yeah, he caught him because dude just went in there too comfortably, and I don't think that he has a bad chin because why in the hell would you go in there so close and so patient, trying to find the distance and knowing that the other fighter's fresh? Like I said, I wouldn't fucking put my hand in my dog's cage if I barely know him and a stranger's house. I wouldn't, because obviously Tim Tszyu is feeling comfortable getting that close. So, he must rely on the fact that he has a good chin, or not he wouldn't be comfortably so nonchalantly stepping in that close and try to already look for the gauge, to already look for that range within the first round on. A lot of fighters, yeah, they dip their foot one toe at a time, one foot at a time. They shoot, they might land, sometimes they miss because they're not comfortable getting that close and comfortable to where you're going to trade shots and you could get hit. No, he was doing that and remained patient all the while. That's what I'm saying. How can you be like that while all the time not really like knowing if you have a good chin or not? You must know because you're banking that you're so comfortable in there. Yeah, I'm just thinking.
I get what you're saying, Gonzalo. I get what you're saying, and I think you're absolutely right. And you know how Tim Tszyu dominated this fight is because from the get-go, Gasha, he was just laying on the ropes, trying to run Tszyu into something. Like when you see a guy like that, like it reminded me a little bit of a lower tier version of Golovkin versus Curtis Stevens. Remember how Curtis Stevens just spent the whole fight on the ropes, and it was just, every once in a while he would have success, but for the most part, he was out of ideas. He was just covering up, trying to catch him with something. And that was the same thing here. So when a guy like Tim Tszyu can do that to you, that means it's very effective type pressure. But I'm looking at Jermell Charlo, who can counter better than Gasha, better power, just better overall skills. I think at this point he would Vince Phillips Costa Tszyu. He would be, Tim Tszyu. He would be like what Vince Phillips was to his father. And you also got Castaño, who's a little inside fire. I think he would have Tim Tszyu at this point because I don't think Tim Tszyu is all that great on the inside. I think his wide hooks would fall off the mark against Castaño all the way in. So in other words, all the way out, he might have a little trouble against Charlo, and all the way in against Castaño might be trouble. But
I'd like to see him go against, match him up against the young kid. I don't know, it'd be kind of crazy for Top Rank. Probably wouldn't do it, but because I don't think he's going to be fighting a 147. I know they want him to. Zayn Desires, he's going to be too big. I think he'll be stretching. So if he's going to campaign at 154, I'd like to see him. But that'd be a big test because I think that kid's going to be a dominant force.
Well, let me tell you guys. 154 is a good division, man. You got lower tier guys like Liam Smith. He would still give that would be a nice little fight for Tim Tszyu in the meantime if he can't get any of the PBC boys. And you got Israel Madrimov, whom I believe might just have to face Michel Soro again after that controversial stoppage the last time. Fundora and Lubin are going to be fighting each other. Now, Fundora might get outboxed by Lubin, but then again, Lubin is chinny, so maybe Fundora will Margarito him. Then you got Lara, Hurd. Hurd is still at 154. I thought he was... First of all, I think he's done as a fighter, and I thought he was at 160. And then, of course, you got Charlo and Castaño who are going to be fighting next, so... There's a lot going on in this division.
I thought Hurd fought at 160 last time.
Yeah, so
that's what I thought too. And he's spent anyways.
Yeah, Jimmy, I agree, man. Spent. But Jimmy, what do you think about? Do you think Lara versus Tszyu? Do you think at this stage Lara could still beat him, or how would you see that fight going?
Well, the Cuban Lara, the 154, the older guy now, he's probably as far as now. Oh, I think Lara would beat him on points.
Mm-hmm.
Lara's still just, it would be a boring ass fight. I just don't know if that kid has the ability yet to cut off the ring. That kind of ability takes the fight of somebody like Lara. You have to be a really good boxer. He's hard guy to hit. It depends too on how bad his legs are slowed down.
People in the chat are telling me that Lara is a middleweight now. So I suppose that fight. Yeah, I think he's got a paper belt over at middleweight. So man, listen, Team Tszyu, there was some good, there was some bad. Remains to be seen what he can do there. But I mean, look, he was a dominant performance aside from the knockdown. But it's just you have to wonder how he's gonna handle the punching power of some of the other fellas out there. Now he might get lucky because maybe Jermel wins the fight against Castaño and moves up. But Castaño would still be trouble for him. How old is Team Tszyu anyway? Let me check it out. He's 27 already. 27. So, okay. Yeah, he's not a kid. He's not exactly a kid, you know. So that whole thing about how there's room for improvement remains to be seen.
I believe, of course, every human is different. But I believe that 27 is the prime. That's the year right there, 27.
Uh-huh. I agree with you.
At 27, 24, you're already fucking strong. 24. 30, you're fucking got experience, you're still strong, but 27, you're fresh, you're fast, you're strong, and you got experience.
Well, in Major League sports, and almost all of them, exactly, Gonzalo, to that point, it's they look between, they consider the physical, prime 28 to 32. You know what I mean? Because you mix in the wisdom of playing for a few years with the man strength. And that's why they usually call 28 to 32 those years as somebody's prime years. Obviously, it has a lot to do with how you handle yourself outside the rings, your lifestyle, drinking, how many times you've taken shots to the head. We can get into Burchelt after that. That'll be a good segue. But so that all has to do with it. But you're right, though. That has been traditionally always considered the prime years of a fighter.
27, I think if you could take a beating and survive it, and you can apply your craft, and you can survive that.
Oopsie daisy, sorry about that.
Obviously, but if in other times, like let's say later in life, that beating you couldn't handle, or at 27 you probably could.
Well, we'll see what happens with the fella. I mean, he's I don't know, he's 27. Maybe he could improve. There's some fighters in the late 20s they can improve, but we'll see. I gotta tell you though. One guy who might be done, and that's Miguel Burchelt, who ended up losing a stoppage defeat. Nakatila actually stopped him in, what was it, about the seventh round? What round was it? Yeah, about 7th round, I believe. Sixth? Okay.
Well, 6th and 7th. He didn't come out for the 7th, right?
I mean, Burchelt looked shot. That's the other thing. Nakatila himself said he's finished, he's not the same fighter, that's why I'm going to win. So was it a case of Nakatila being good, or was it a case of Burchelt being shot, or was there a case of both?
Well, do you want to go? Yeah, go, Gonzalo.
No, he punches hard, man. You can tell. The guy got speed, and he kind of reminded me of the Axeman Waters, I think at a division higher, just a little bigger. I mean, he's 5'10". Actually, I thought they fought very similar, Burchelt and Nakatila, but Nakatila was landing faster. He's probably like a better version of Burchelt, quicker. I mean, he is Afro-Latino. Yeah, no, he was putting speed behind his shots. He's heavy-handed. He was beating Burchelt to the punch. Basically, Burchelt's like a rock'em sock'em robot. He's like he's robotic, man. Robotic. Okay, you think of Anthony Joshua, but those are heavyweights. They're meant to be slower. When you're that robotic and sluggish at a lightweight. Obviously, dude, if your opponent's a little faster, fights very much like you, but he's landing first, you're always going to be second. So if you're always going to be second, you're always going to get hurt first. That means you're going to get knocked out like he did on his feet. He showed a valiant, courageous effort in the 5th. He put up a fight, but it just wasn't enough. Obviously, the referee was watching something in there that he said, no, I'm going to call it because the punches were thudding. In my opinion, it could have continued. Yeah, but the punches were even. Timothy Bradley said, nah, man, call it quits. He was seeing something inside the ring. Obviously, the punches were hard.
Yeah, man, the punches were flying hard. They were whizzing by. Jimmy, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, no, well, I agree. First off, that kid did remind me of Walters, too. A lot of, even his physical build. Wasn't he from Africa?
Yeah, he's from Nambia. Nambia.
Okay, because I thought, because Gonzalo said, African Hispanic. I thought so. He must have been talking about Burchell too, because I thought the kid was from Africa. But
I thought he was Afro-Hispanic. No, but he's from
oh,
Nambia.
okay, all right. Well, it's an irrelevant point, anyways, dude. It was something I was talking myself. But I agree with you. It does look like
the fast
that,
twitch
brother?
muscle. The fast
exactly
twitch.
high shoulder caps. But after the Valdez fight, the show right after when we do right after the fight, I said the first thing I said when talking about that fight was, I don't think that kid Burchell should ever fight again. And some people thought like, one stop, one loss. I'm like, one loss. It's not that. You've been around for a long time. You can see it in somebody's eyes. He was not taking those punches right. He wasn't reacting right to him. And last night, remember Tim kept going, oh, God damn, because he wasn't handling that right. To the point, I was screaming. If I was related to Burchell, the first thing I would have done was I got to the locker room is punch his trainer right in his fucking face. Right in his face. He was done. That kid was taking every punch that landed after the fourth round was taking time off his life. He had zero chance of winning that fight. He probably doesn't remember the fifth round or the sixth. He was out on his feet. He's got partial probably brain damage. I'm telling you right now, that kid's fucked up. He's going to have a lifetime of problems from the fucking last two beatings he took. Russell Mora, who isn't the type of guy that I don't think he has a history of stopping fights like that. He went over and said, yeah, I've seen enough. That corner should have said that. Tim, I 100% agree. I'm like, Bradley, I agree. And Bradley was like upset about it. He's like, the corner should have stopped that fight. He wasn't taking those fucking punches right. His time, everything was wrong. He's a spent fighter. But when you got a bunch of motherfuckers still got their hands in your pocket, they don't care. They're still getting paid. They don't give a fuck. They're going to let you go back to the fire line. You probably get $1 million for last night's fight, or at least close to it, $750,000. So somebody wanted their 15% of that. The trainer, I don't know, but that fight should have been stopped in the fifth. He was taking shots. He wasn't reacting well. Russell Morris said it. He said, and I've seen enough. You're letting this kid get fucking killed in there. I thought it was a sin.
Yeah, his displacement, like when he tries to reset his feet after, he gets the opponent attacks him, then he was trying to be more mobile. When he's trying to reset, he's jumping with the 2 feet at one time in the air. That just doesn't look right. I think obviously, you would kind of want to scoot back, push up your front foot to get on your back foot and pivot around or move laterally. No, this guy's those movies, like the old-time Mexican movies, where they got this makeshift make-believe boxer.
Yeah, it's because his brain's not firing right, dude, at that point. You just can't, your body doesn't do what your brain wants it to do.
But you know what, man?
Are coming off the canvas at one time, and it's like, man.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy.
Because, I'm always trying to give the fighters credit. I'm not, it's easy to just say, well, Burchell was shot. But in this case, the guy wasn't throwing any, you would look at a prime Burchell, he would let his hands go even when there were shots coming back, like when he fought Miguel Roman or Francisco Vargas. This time, it was just,
toe.
He couldn't see that, it was a classic case of he can probably see the opening, but he just can't pull the trigger. That's how it looked like to me. And then on top of that, and this is where skills come in, he had horrible skills before, but he made up for it with tenacity and just fierceness. Now that fierceness was gone, and it was a mental aspect of it too as well, he was just a sitting duck with horrible defense. Well, his defense was good when he was moving the upper body a little bit, but when he comes in, you saw what happened. He tried to come in afterwards saying, okay, I got to take the fight to him. And that's when he would get caught with big shots. And so that's when his defensive liabilities really took its toll.
And he kept eating the same shot over and over, right on the fucking chin. Tough as nails, breaks my heart. I don't know. I take zero pleasure in saying that about a fighter, but I'm seriously concerned about his, he's the type of dude who's going to have what is it, ED or whatever, concussion issues, headaches, and all kinds of shit going forward.
And the worst part is he said after the interview, I think he said, I'm coming back. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody sanctions that fight, then shame on them. That kid's done.
Plus everything you said, BDA, plus the fact that he was facing a puncher, and you can tell by the delivery of Nakatila's shots, man, dude can crack. He just got outgunned, and he couldn't It's like Kiko Martinez Warrington. He didn't allow the older man, to fight at his own pace. The other guy with the punching power alone was keeping him too honest. He couldn't fight at his like regular style where I'm gonna be the bully. No, he kind of got bullied because he just got outgunned. It's like when Donaire was facing bigger guys too. Donaire big puncher, but when he was facing other big punchers, man, he was looking a little gun shy in there.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. Hey, by the way, we got Black Chibi dropping by. Special guest today, Black Chibi, you there?
Yes, I'm here, man. Thank you guys so much for having me today. I haven't been able to join. Anyone can join because I've been very busy with the move and whatnot. But yeah, just thank you guys for having me.
Oh, no problem, man.
Black Chibi, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering where is Black Chibi been? He was usually a regular on the Open Lines Friday, but good to hear that you're back, man, and that you got a little free time here. We're talking about the Nakatila Burchell fight. What did you think about that fight?
Yeah, because when I had ended up catching it on the highlights on YouTube, and from what I saw, it seemed like it was like your boy's basically a journeyman now. Like I think it was just I think he just was in it for the money. I mean, he did the best he could, but wasn't much he can do at all. Like, it's not much I can really say about that, because even when I was watching it on the highlights, I didn't even finish watching it. I was just like, yeah, this is just a waste of time. I'm not even finna, you feel me, even waste my time with this one.
You know what, man? I want to give Nakatila credit for this win, but when he himself said before the fight, look, this guy's, the reason why I'm going to win is because he's not the same fighter anymore. It's like, it's like, how much credit can you give Nakatila? I guess you got to give him credit for not looking bad, because there was a point where Burchell was still coming back, catching him with some good
Exactly, and you can give him credit too, Mr. B. I didn't mean to cut you off, but to that point, just to the fact that he didn't. Usually, when you get a guy you know is vulnerable to be hit, a lot of guys will get anxious and jump in, start winging, and blow their load, and then they get caught because they're tired and you can't gain the third or fourth win. He didn't. He stayed more stalking, but no, he does have power. His power is legit, without a doubt. I'm looking forward to the kid. That kid has a future. He has a couple of losses under his belt, so he got that crap out of the way. So you don't have to worry about him protecting his O. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again. I like African fighters because I believe they never, they always give it what they have.
Absolutely.
Like, even when I see it and even because I just turned on the highlights now, and even when I see it, it's just like, and I give him all respect for jumping in that fight, but like sometimes you gotta, just like with the whole Dante Wilder situation, you gotta leave it alone, man. You feel me? I mean, you can still have love for the sport and everything, but if you, I mean, obviously he had a little more in his gas tank, but he just didn't. Like, he's just going to get somebody that was just ready for all that. It was. I wouldn't have took that fight, especially. Isn't your boy like he's very up there in age, ain't it?
I think he's about in his early 30s. But I mean, look, listen, at this point, we got to talk about...
It's Black Chibi. Is he calling... Are you saying Brachelt's your boy because he's Mexican? No, I'm just curious because you saying your boy. I'm just wondering. No, I was just wondering.
I didn't even notice
Don't do that. Don't do that. You gonna get the whole everybody.
No. Because that was a joke. I wasn't talking like, okay, it's countrymen. I should have said countrymen.
Well, you know what I would do with Burchelt? If Burchelt insists on fighting on, put him in against some cab drivers. I'm talking some actual fucking cab drivers. See what happens. See if maybe his brain can rewire itself.
Yeah, dude, you don't come back from that. Remember?
I know, Jimmy, but he says what I'm saying is,
don't.
I know, Jimmy. I know
he needs the people around him to reach out and say, "Don't, dude," because he can get really. I mean, Tim Bradley said it best. He said, and he was honest, and I was like, "Wow, holy shit!" You usually hear guys say that. He said, "After I was cracked and hurt, I forget what 2013 what he said, whatever." He said, I was never the same.
I know, Jimmy, I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is he wants to keep fighting, regardless of what you and I might think. So what I'm saying is if he insists on fighting, put him in against some cab drivers. he's not gonna get hurt against them unless they're some of those heavy-handed taxi drivers that are getting to fights with every fucking 2 weekends. So, I mean, it just depends, man. I
kid at
suggest
7-Eleven, he catches the wrong shot out as a 7-Eleven tonight could fucking kill him. I'm
I
telling
don't
you
think
right
he's that
now.
type of guy. I
Just
don't think he's
taking
that
a
type.
punch for him isn't good right now.
If he were to take another fight, if Berchelt was to take another fight, it'll just be for a payday. Maybe he's down on his luck or something. But I wouldn't put, if he were to fight somebody, I'd just be on somebody undercard. You know, fight a bum or two. You know,
Jason
Nothing
Costa in the
champion at one
chat room
time.
says, Jimmy, how about you pay for his bills then? These people are so quick for fighters to retire, but they don't worry about their finances. Oh, come on. Wait a minute. What?
What about their finances? He was a world champion. It's on me to fucking sit down with them and tell them to put money aside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he worried about me making my bills because I'm concerned about his health? Yeah, no, let him go out and become a fucking vegetable. You know what I mean? Swinging at fucking shadows, walking down the street, fucking talking to himself. Okay,
Or talking
but,
to
hey, he's
the
got money in the bank.
or talking to the air conditioning like Joe Louis used to.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, come on.
exactly.
No, but you know what? Thunderdome was talking about that the other day. Shout out to Thunderdome. He said a lot of these fans, you know, they complain about fighters not getting paid. But yeah, a lot of these fighters, you see them in the club throwing money around. Like, whose fault is that? You don't see Bob Arum doing that. You don't see Eddie Hearn throwing money around in strip clubs. So it's on the fighters too, man. And look, at the same time, though, I have to agree a little bit here, Jimmy. If these guys want to keep getting their brains beat in, hey, you know, I'm not putting a gun to their head. So what do you want from me? Hey, by the way,
No, exactly, brother. But Top Rank, I doubt will back him. Bob will probably cut him loose because why would you want to be part of that? You know the kid's gone at this point. It's just people trying to make money off him.
And by the way, Jimmy has experience. Can I just say something, Jimmy? Jimmy, can I just say Jimmy has a lot of experience of watching fighters, and he knows a shot fighter when he sees it. And Berchelt had all the signs, so that I have to concur with Jimmy here. I think the guy's maybe he could come back after a couple of soft touches, but it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good.
He was hiding over there in the Yucatan Peninsula for a long time, and well, he had a few good opponents. He was world champion. He was a come forward fighter. Right now, it seems like he's just limited to like throwing one shot at a time. He can't couple his punches. He can't put them together anymore. In real time, as a fight is going on, he'll throw one heavy shot. That's kind of already come with the curse of the guy that got heavy hands. Once you swing hard, you know, to be able to recover that arm and get into position or put two punches together, I mean, it takes a little bit more of a foundation, you know, on your feet to be able to do that, you know, to have good, strong fundamentals. And he lacks that for some reason. He's got cement feet. I don't know. Something's wrong with him along with the beating that he took. He was just never that good, in my opinion. And I mentioned it before the Oscar Valdez fight.
Well, can I say that we're talking a lot about Berchelt? I think, like I said, I concur with Jimmy. I think the guy's probably finished. There's some people in the chat room that disagree. So, hey, listen, I guess we'll let time speak for itself, man. But
I wish those guys would call in and tell us exactly what they see that thinks that he's still a viable fighter.
I'm opening up the phone lines. I'm opening up the phone lines, and I hope those people call in. But Jimmy, as you know,
call in and explain it.
Sometimes the people that write the hardest don't talk the loudest. But anyway, listen, let's talk about Nakatila too, because I think Del Boy in the chat, shout out to Del Boy, aka Blue Collar Sports TV, he brought up a good point. How about Nakatila versus Richard Comey, an all-African shootout between two power punchers? Who wouldn't want to see that?
That'd be a good fight. Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
Two lion killers, no. Nakatila, the killer.
Lion killers.
Richard Comey.
Oh, come on,
well,
Jake.
Yeah, that's right. He's from Namibia.
Namibia, yeah.
Which is some of the best lion. They are lion killers out there.
Yeah, but Comey is from Ghana. Comey's from Ghana.
Ghana. There's no lion killers up there.
The effort that Comey showed against Lomachenko, even while missing, he was still throwing with conviction up to the very end. Nobody.
Yeah,
man. They should have stopped that fight, bro. As soon as, bro, that was a blowout, bro.
But Colby, man, he's got hot. He meant it when he told the referee, "No, I'm ready to die." I mean, that wasn't hyperbole. He was serious. Those guys are warriors.
Yeah,
warriors,
they're committed
the African
to their
fighters. Yeah, they're
committed to the punches. It's from launching that javelin. No, you could tell that Nakatila, look, he was landing what the referee saw. That's why he called it, because he was landing flush on Berchelt. He wasn't landing to where he was hitting the tip of the beard, where he looked all dramatic, where the head was spinning. No. he was landing flush between the jaw and the neck, where it's solid.
Yeah.
You know, the trunk, the muscle of the neck, where you can absorb the punch and credit to go down. But the punch was flush, and he was punching through. It was like a full on connect. That's what Nakatila was doing, man.
Well, I gotta tell you,
It was
fellas, the
fighting
phone
hard.
lines are open, so call in if you want to let us know. If you there's two people or more, I think, disagree with us about Burchell retiring. So hey, call in and let us know why he shouldn't retire. Also, if you want to call in and let us know, because we're gonna get to the Josh Warrington fight, or if you want to talk about Team Tszyu, we're also gonna get into a little bit of gossip here in regards to Teofimo Lopez and Senior giving a couple of comments last night after the fights, and Shakur Stevenson as well. And so there's a lot to get to. We do have a phone call, so let's get right down to it now. 678. Hold on a sec. Hold on. Let me see if everything's... Yeah, 678. You're on the air. 678. What's on your mind?
Hey, shout out everybody. So this is just another thing that's going on in the world of boxing, the whole Tank Davis thing, man. I'm very interested in that, and this is why. Do you think in a bizarre, weird fucking way, the people over at PBC think that Rolly is some kind of a star?
Guys, what do you think about that? I think I asked that question last
time. Well, as a young man, just my perspective, I think Rolly Romero is a star when it comes, like, just like how Ryan Garcia is a star when it comes to, like, you know, internet famous.
All right, let me cut you off. That's all I needed. That's.
Go ahead,
he's a star. He's a star along the lines of Kermit the Frog from the Muppet Babies. He kind of reminds me of too.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Chibi fell for it right away, so I know what PBC's thinking about.
Oh, come on. Now, wait a minute. Why? So you're saying Chibi's falling for the scam? Is that what you're saying?
What's up, Chibi? Shout out, everybody.
No, it's all good. Listen, no, I'm just saying, like, honestly, with me, how I feel about Rolly Romero, bro, I honestly don't really care much for him because, you know, he haven't. I mean, he had good fights, but I mean, like, who did he really fight? And the reason why this fight is even only big is because they just don't like each other, you know. And with Tank Davis leaving, I think it's a good idea because the only reason why I think it's a good idea because, like, I've been saying this for months now that he need to fight one of them three fighters, either Devin Haney, Lomachenko, and the other guy. You know, so, like, you know, it's about that time. And I don't think Floyd Mayweather, the only fight that Floyd Mayweather even tried to make, and I know he tried to really make that fight, was the Ryan Garcia fight. But you see how, you see how he's made.
Well, you know what?
The only thing that Rolando Romero the only thing that Rolando Romero brings to the table is size. He's not no Leo Santa Cruz at 22, 26 pounds. He's a full-fledged, whatever the weight division is, 35, I believe. He's that size or even bigger. So that's one thing that Davis is going to have to contend with, size.
Well, he's got to catch up if he's going superstar. If he's trying to be a superstar on the internet, I mean, Instagram star, he's got 274,000 followers to Garcia's 8 million. So he's got a ways to go. Yeah, 8 million. Unbelievable.
Go ahead, Soothsayer.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
there was an interview I saw, and Elderby was with Rolly, and they looked really warm with each other, man. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, they're out of touch, and they're just gonna stick to, you know, jump on whatever they may think that the youth like. And, you know, he's out here with, like, his beast man lion coat on and shit.
Well, can I say something about that?
Probably because I was going to say Mayweather probably signed him out of the hospital that day and he was in charge of him.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I say something about that? I want to say something about that Romero thing because I understand the question from Soothsayer because Tank Davis is talking about how this is his last fight. We don't know if he's going to re-sign with the money team or whatever. Maybe, just maybe, the PBC is looking at Rolly Romero. They're looking at the things because maybe he said something moving with his trash talking, and maybe these people are thinking, you know what, Tank Davis, 27.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I got no proof. I'm just speculating here, but it's also interesting though. Like Gonzalo said, Romero though, his technique stinks, but he's strong. So I think Tank Davis is gonna beat him, but he might also look bad in that fight early on. So you just never know what could happen, man.
You guys ever seen Rolly Romero sparring, especially when he had sparred Ryan Garcia?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he might like because I know for a fact Rolly Romero. I think that's where one thing that I do like about Rolly Romero. I think Rolly Romero is going to come out swinging. Like he's going to come out swinging, just like how Isaac Cruz came out swinging, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, let me get to Jimmy here. Jimmy, do you think Jimmy, you think they're gonna? Do you think Davis is gonna send Rolly Romero permanently to the home?
I think Davis is going to smoke him. I think that's exactly. Davis wasn't excited about this fight. I mean, you heard the way he worded it. He straight up said, "Floyd's making me take this fight. I didn't want this fight," because he's seeing what's being said about him about this fight on social media. He's getting crucified for it.
I mean, that's insane. Hey, Soothsayer, you want to jump on the panel? It's a Sunday.
Oh man, I would. I just got to do the call. But anyways, BDA. One last thing. You know, everybody thinks you're or some people claim that you're also Bucho.
Oh, come on.
You've been lacking on your Bucho impersonation recently, man. You sounded all nasally and sick.
That's a good point, man. You're right. I do have to turn into Bucho, man. But that's fake news, by the way. I just want to say that don't spread fake news. We're going to have to turn to CNN and censor people if they keep saying that. But anyway, listen, Soothsayer, thank you for your call, and we'll catch you. You too, man. Take it easy.
Shut up.
All right, so that was Soothsayer. Don't forget to call in, fellas. The phone lines are open, and we got a lot to get to here. Yes, go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. Well, I was just going to ask, GB, now you said that Floyd tried to make the Garcia fight?
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that happen. I don't remember. It could have. I don't remember. I didn't know he was that was an actual effort. They actually tried to make that fight. I didn't know that.
This is from his mouth. Like I said, after the Isaac Cruz fight and everything, and then when Ryan Garcia called out Gervonta Tank Davis, and Gervonta Tank Davis was all for it in the Mike Tyson show. So I'm hearing, like I said, I may be wrong here, that they was really trying to, what's his name, Leonard Ellaby was really trying to make the fight happen. And that's when Ryan Garcia pulled out with that anxiety nonsense and then tried to say, oh, instead of fighting him, I'm going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Or instead of fighting Manny Pacquiao, I'm going to fight this guy. And this and that. And that's just, like I said, that's just what I heard. It might be fake news, but
just rumors, man. Hey,
yeah,
with the Rolly Romero fight, man, it might actually be a good fight. And not because Rolly Romero's that good, it's because Tank Davis is regressing, man. Throwing single shots at a time, stepping away from his power instead of stepping in, tying up. If he fights the fight that he fought against Pitbull Cruz, this is going to be a close fight, and it might be even an exciting fight because we want to see what happens. But not because they're great. It's just because they're they're both mediocre.
I agree, Gonzalo. And I'm intrigued by the fight, but I got to tell you, I ain't paying $70 to watch it.
Yeah,
it's not that
I was about to say, you're really going to pay? You're going to buy that?
No, but Gonzalo's right, though. Romero brings some intangibles into the ring in terms of his strength, his awkwardness. Sometimes the awkwardness can be a strength, especially when you're fighting a guy like Tank Davis, because Tank Davis is not going to take it to him. He's going to stay on the outside and try to swing big. Yeah.
I just see such bad technique. I think Tank is going to just beat him up. I think that the kid can't plant his feet right. He doesn't know how to gauge distance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he almost fights like a tough man competition. And a good sound boxer, which Tank is, although he's gotten away from it, he just lays in his competition. I mean, his combos, don't let him set his feet, don't get ready. You go out there and blow him out. And if he doesn't, it's a knock against him. He's being spoon-fed this kid to look good. So let's see if he finally steps up and does that.
It's not like Pitbull Cruz is not a wizard. He's not a boxing wizard. But you know what Tank Davis was doing? He was sticking out his lead arm to use it as a flagpole to gauge the distance for his left uppercut. And if you signal another fighter that that's what you plan to do, and that's all you're doing, let me line you up so I can punch you like a fucking tetherball, that's not going to work at the elite level. Who's teaching this guy to fight like that? I mean, can you give more fucking, can you send more signals than that? That's fucking ridiculous, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Gonzalo's on fire today, man.
That he's going to come out swinging. We know that.
Yeah, you know what, Chibi? I saw him swinging on the training pads right before he stepped into the ring. But as soon as he got into the ring, he was throwing one shot at a time. It doesn't like Mike Tyson. You're short. You got to come forward. You got to put your punches in threes. Pop, pop, pop. Put your punches in twos. No, he's stepping back and he's throwing one shot at a time, robbing from his own power.
I agree, man. Hold on a second. I'm looking at. Okay, I'm sorry because I'm reading news here from the breaking news. Is from MMA Champ. Put this in the Discord. George Kambosos and Devin Haney have struck a deal for a June 5th bout in Melbourne, Australia, for the Undisputed Championship. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, shit. Well, actually, let me take a phone call, Jimmy. Let me take a phone call, and then we'll get back to that tweet. All right, man.
Okay.
Let's go to. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. 917. You're on the air. 917. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
Yo. Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air, man.
Hello?
How many times you're on the air, man? All right, he hung up. All right, let's go to the wildcard line. 111. You're on the air. 111. What's on your mind? Triple one. You're on the air. Going once. Going twice. All right.
Can they hear you?
Yo, 111. You're on the air. Last time, man.
Yo, what's up, BJ?
Yo, MMA Champ. Yeah, I just saw the news you posted there, man. What's up? All right, MMA Champ. What the fuck's going on,
Yo,
man?
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to be the first person to say this. Mike Carpenter just tweeted that Devin Haney and Kambosos have struck a deal for Melbourne, Australia.
Well, there you go, Jimmy. That answers your question. In Melbourne, Australia, it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's on the west side.
Yeah, no,
Melbourne's not. That's the west side, right? Okay.
Is the first to say this, you know.
Hey, by the way, hold on. Jimmy, Bucho is saying something in the chat. He says, "Can anyone confirm that?" I mean, Coppinger. Yeah, I mean, is this really? Can we confirm that Coppinger is being truthful? We need somebody else to confirm that.
Why would I lie? Why would I lie?
No, not you, but Coppinger is the guy that maybe he's wrong.
But yeah, BJ, I think that's a great fight, you know, and props to Haney for signing the contract. You know, shows that it shows that nobody's ducking him. Also, you know.
That's right. That's right.
He had the contract all this time, right? They sent him the contract, it's the same as Lomachenko, and he just now signed it. So he had an opportunity to sign it all this time, and now he chose to sign it. So, you know, nobody's ducking Devin Haney.
Well, it's interesting that...
I want to... But I would like to give my thoughts on the fights yesterday.
Hey, could you lower just hold on, MMA Champ, before you continue, just lower the volume there in the background. I think you got MSNBC playing or something.
Oh yeah, I have. I'm looking at the stocks right now.
All right, but yeah, just lower that please, because it's a little distracting, man.
Yeah. Warrington had that left hook glued to his face. He was giving Kiko no overhands. You know, Warrington had a tremendous gas tank, you know, but what diminished the fight for me, you know, was the headbutts. You know, the ref let Josh get away with 1,000 headbutts, and later the stoppage was trash. You know, I mean, listen, most of the punches were on gloves. Josh Warrington is a bum, you know.
Oh.
That's my opinion on that fight.
Wait a minute.
But as to the Burchelt fight, you know, Burchelt is done. You know, he got dropped by a jab. You know, he got stopped by a malnourished African police officer. You know, what is going on, bro? he was not the same after. He was not the same after the Valdez KO. You know, and as to the Tim Tszyu fight, you know, Tim got dropped, came back, dominated the fight. Started getting boring to me, but you know, Gasha was doing enough to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Tszyu did look a little stiff, in my opinion. You know, as of the scorecards, the refs need to be fined and banned from boxing.
Oh,
where do you get 7-5 out of that fight? Where do you get 7-5, bro? Tell me, where do you get 7-5 out of a fight? More than
You're absolutely
10-2.
right.
Come on, bro.
You're absolutely right. MMA Champ, before you go, man.
I think the refs. Wait, one sec. I think the refs went to the same school as Fighter Spirit. You know, it's obvious.
Oh, wait a minute.
So-
Now, see, he was waiting to get that little dig in at Fighter Spirit. Hey, MMA champ, before
Of
you go,
course.
two things.
But
Two things. We got to exchange portfolios after later on because I know you're a stock guy. And number two, the prediction league. We get some updates from last night's fight, but next week there's no fights, right? So it's gonna give people a little time to restructure the game plans.
next week, actually, BDA, next week is the Sandro Martin, the guy who beat Mikey Garcia, Fatty Garcia, I like to call him. Yeah, he's fighting next weekend. So we'll be doing that. But also we got a big announcement. MMA Prediction League. The BDA's MMA Prediction League is up now. So if you're any MMA fans, join the Prediction League. MMA Prediction League. We're gonna start 2 weeks with the Korean Zombie versus Volkanovski. But I would like to talk about Tszyu Female Lopez and his crackhead father, you know, with the excuses. It's really, you know, surprising, bro. Because I was at the fights, you know. I wasn't front row, but close to front row. You know, MMA has that money. We all know that. But anyway, I think, listen, the excuses talking about he had a hole in his chest, you know, he couldn't breathe. Well, it's because you were using the holes. We know what you did, Teofimo Sr. We know how you get that win, you know. I even heard a rumor that the reason Teofimo's wife left is because she saw him sleep in bed with his father. But I'm not, you know, I'm not the one to...
All right, those are MMA champs'
know,
point. That's his point of view that he doesn't represent the BD panel, man. All right. Fucking MMA champ. That's MMA champ saying that. That's not us, man. All right, man.
By the way, on my side, from what I'm seeing, I think MMA champ was right because it said that Devin Haney just signed a 3-fight multi-deal with Top Rank. Not a 3-fight, but I don't know how many deals, but just a multi-fight deal with Top Rank right now.
Now, are you talking about Kopachinga's tweet? Because I'm reading that too, because it says multi-fight co-promotional deal for Haney with Top Rank and Lou DiBella. But so Lou DiBella is now involved with Haney? Or are they talking about, because I know Lou DiBella represents Kambosos. So if he's doing a deal with Lou DiBella, it's just weirdly written. I don't know who they're talking about. Is Kambosa or is it Haney signed with Top Rank? Both of them, it's pretty interesting. I'd be curious to know which one signed.
On my side, it says so when they had sent David Haney the contract, they said that he had 3 days to sign the contract, and he signed it right away. And then with Kambosa's situation, they said they literally gave Kambosos everything he wanted just to make this fight happen.
All right. Well, listen, we're gonna keep talking about that. Let me just get to a couple of phone calls here, and then we'll delve into this potential fight here going on. Let's go to 914. You're on the air. 914. What's on your mind?
What's up, BDA, Gonzalo, Jimmy, Bucho? It's Fernando from New York.
Oh, Fernando, what's up, man?
Fernando, what up, buddy?
Well, how's it going, guys? Well, you know, Carl Moretti, I think, was originally a DiBella Entertainment guy, and he's now working with Top Rank. So it's not a far-fetched idea to see them working together to put this Devin Haney versus Kambosos fight on together on ESPN.
Yeah, because apparently, what was it? The Zone couldn't come to an agreement with the offer, so now it's up to it goes to ESPN and Top Rank.
Oh. Okay, so that's what happened. He couldn't, so he left DAZN because DAZN didn't want to finance this.
I think
that's what's going on now. It looks like Top Rank is putting up the money.
I think so. Fernando, is that what you heard as well?
I originally thought DAZN would, open up the war chest because they wanted to, get bigger in the Australian market. I know they signed some female boxers, Sky Nicholson from Australia. They got Ebony Bridges. I don't know what male talent they have, but I originally thought DAZN was the biggest bidder. Not that it's a purse bid, but I thought DAZN would be the biggest bidder for this fight because they wanted to, get bigger in that Australian market.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard as well, man. I mean, again, I don't know if that's true or not, but in any event, Fernando, what do you think about that fight? Who are you picking?
Michael Benson. Forget about Mike Coppinger. I look at Michael Benson as a more credible journalist. He just tweeted about it as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, there you go. So there's two sources now. What do you think about the actual fight itself, Fernando? Haney versus Kambosos.
Well, I'll say this. Devin, so hindsight is 2020. Devin Haney is doing what Demetrius Andrade should have did in 2014 or whatever year that it was that he backed out of the Jermell fight. So where else would Haney go? Because if he goes up to 140, the same money is not there and the same historical opportunity is not there for going undisputed. I'm guessing the contract works out where the first fight and a rematch would happen in Australia, whether Devin Haney wins or not. Well, I mean, if Devin Haney loses, he would have to offer Kambosos the rematch in Australia. It's going to be hard, man. He's going to have to win 10 decisive rounds and 2 swing rounds just to get a 7-5 in Australia, if that. Look at the Tim Tszyu cards in Minnesota. Was it Minnesota?
Yeah.
I think one judge had it. What was it? 115, 113, or 114, 113.
Yeah, 114.
That didn't make any sense. So when you go away, you're going up against everything. You're going up against everything, and you got to put on the performance of your life. If you got to redline that engine, you got to redline that engine.
You're absolutely right, man. And it's going to be up to both fighters. It's going to be a long distance fight, I think, long range. So it's going to be that type of fight where if nothing clearly is landing every 2 seconds, then it's going to cause a lot of ruckus afterwards between boxing fans in terms of debating that decision. Fernando, anything else you want to say before we move on?
Yeah, and I'll say this. A lot of people doubted that Devin Haney would take this fight. And I thought business-wise, it's the only thing that makes business sense. It's the biggest money and the biggest prestigious opportunity that you have. I also think the same thing for Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Everything has got to a boiling point where this is the biggest fight that you could get for the money. Like, yeah, Errol could go to 154 and Devin could go to 140 and Demetrius Andrade could go to 168, but they won't make the same money for one fight if they just take that fight that they don't want to take.
That's an excellent
point. That's why I believe that that's why I think these fights are actually happening now, because it's not that they're cowards. I don't want to call a fighter a coward, but it's gotten to the point where you could take a risk going elsewhere. Like Errol Spence could lose against Ugas. You just don't know. And he's not gonna, if he beats Ugas, he's not gonna risk it going against Keith. He's gonna go for Terence Crawford, and they might do it twice just because how much money there is on the pot. You don't pass on that type of money with common sense.
You're absolutely right, man. These people need to stop complaining about, well, these guys, I mean, it's all for the views. It gives them a narrative to follow. Who's ducking who? Look, see, eventually the fights end up happening. Shut the fuck up about that. Listen, Fernando, thank you for your call, man. Excellent call as always, and we'll catch you on the next one, right, man? Good call.
Take care, guys. Always great to be on the panel.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Let's go to 917. 917, you're on the air. 917, are you there?
Yo.
Yo, what's up, man?
Yo. All is Devin Haney better take that gold chain off when he step a little scared, because he's already busting at the seams.
You think so? You think he's going to have trouble making lightweight?
Unless he takes that clenbuterol shit like Teofimo Lopez.
Oh. Well, let me tell you, man, we got a caller here who's not a big fan of... Yeah.
No, I was just saying shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired. So, caller, let me just get this, because you're a little silent there. Who are you picking for this fight between Haney and Kambosos?
It's a call-in show.
No, I think that the caller's high or something. All right, listen, caller, we're going to have to move on because I don't think you can hear us properly. So anything else you want to say before we move on? Last chance to rue.
Kambosos by decision.
Okay. I think this is Teofimo Lopez Sr., man. All right, well, listen, Theo, thank you for calling in, man, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. is on too much dope. He can't keep up with me.
All right.
He's drunk half the time.
The fuck is that accent? All right, man. Well, listen, 917. Thank you for your call. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, man?
All right.
We got
man.
some.
BJ, where do you find these boys at, man?
I don't know, man. Hey, listen, they come to us, man. What do you want from me, man? All right, listen, shout out to everybody who called in. Don't forget that phone lines are still open. All right, Jimmy, let's start with you, man, because this Haney fight, a lot of people, like Fernando was saying, all these people that love to talk about, well, this guy's talking, no, it's that guy's talking, and then the fight ends up happening. What do you think about all that drama that some of these people love to talk about?
Well, the thing I was saying all along was this fight's going to happen in Australia. I mean, a lot of people trying to pull that narrative that it was going to, happen in the United States or it could do. Listen, the one thing he wanted, that was the sticking point. You know what I mean? That was, so he did give in on that. Props to Haney, he is doing it, but that, so obviously a smart kid if he's signed with Top Rank, because Top Rank's going to get him into good fights. I'm glad he didn't go with the PBC. But,
no.
It is what it is. Why go languish over there and, be in that mess? So at least he's, props to him. He signed it. He's going to do it. He's going down into foreign land and hostile crowd. So let's see if he can do it. It'll be quite the. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, I want to see what happens.
But the only thing that scares me about him going to freaking Australia is because that's his hometown, and Devin Haney don't really have that much punching power, man. So he's gonna have to absolutely dominate that fight just to take that away from him.
Well, I mean, listen, like I said before, some of these guys, like Fernando said, in Minnesota, Team Tszyu, 114-113, he dominated that fight. It shouldn't have been that close on that scorecard. And then in the video I posted about Haney Kambosos, I reminded people that two judges, Don Trella and, what's the other guy's name? I forget. They scored the first round 10-9 when it should have been 10-8. Okay, that one I'll give it to them. I'll let that one slide. Then they gave the last round to Teofimo Lopez when Kambosos landed him and landed hard shots just as hard as Lopez. So bad decisions can happen anywhere. This whole thing about Australia, maybe it's not going to be so much the judges as much as the referee, like we saw in Pacquiao Horn. So maybe people are making too much of the Australian issue. I don't know. We'll have to see. But June is shaping up to be quite the year, man, the month. Apparently, Usyk and Joshua might end up fighting on June as well. So, man, that's that would be a jam-packed summer right there. Let's go to a phone call here. Go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Those are two good fights, man. Kambosos versus Haney, that's a KG affair. It's a winnable fight. And then if he loses, based on a close fight that he probably maybe deserves to win, but he's fighting down under over in Australia, man, that might be a burden off your back, a blessing in disguise. You lose when you should have won. That gets that load off your back that, fighting for undefeated behind Mayweather's shadow, because some fighters try to portray that. So he loses, but he technically wins unofficially. Then he goes in there for a rematch, and that's a load off his back, and he'll start developing as a fighter without that burden. And the other fight we'll talk about later, but yeah, it's a good fight.
Gonzalo, I'm glad.
Because Kambosos is not necessarily a boogeyman either, so it's a winnable fight.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm glad you got that expression correct, by the way, load off my back, because some people say load off my chest. I go, what? What are you talking about? Load off my chest? So shout out to you, Gonzalo, for that one.
I can't fuck that one. No BDA. Can't fuck that one.
And I want to, same thing with, shout out to Stevenson. He took a haircut. He took less money against Valdez to make the fight happen, because he even worded it right. I believe in my abilities. I'll take less now and then be in a position to make more later.
Exactly.
That's the attitude fighters need to have.
Exactly,
so props
Jimmy.
to fucking Shakur Stevenson.
The Americans are stepping up, and Shakur saying, look, I'll take short money, but I know I can make it off the returns in larger amounts down the line. And Haney's saying, look, I want to be undisputed. Let's go. I want to get that undisputed championship. Let's go to Australia to go get it, man.
By the way, I've been waiting to say this, man. Y'all smell that in the air? Y'all don't smell that era is almost over. The whole Canelo gym is taking L's lately. I'm loving it because we all know for a fact that freaking Shakur Stevenson's finna freaking crucify this man. There's no way he's losing that fight. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for somebody to bring it up. Oh yes, this fight's going to be a straight dog walk. And then after that, next thing you know, Canelo Alvarez is finna take a L. And then I did hear, I seen you post something on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure no contracts have got signed with Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz yet. Have it?
No, they're just talking about it. They're just talking about it. And right now with those comments, I can see you're trying to get the Mexicans to call in by defaming Carnell, as you like to call him, Jim. I hope people call in, man. I hope people call in and try to defend Canelo. We need a little Sunday rumble here. Hey, let's go to another phone call here real quick. Let's go to 956. You're on the air. 956. What's on your mind?
Yo, man, ¿qué onda? Saludos a toda la raza. I'm at work. Yo, so what's up, King Butch? What's up, BDA? ¿Qué onda, carnal? Soy yo, LT. Hey, yo, Black Chibi, where the fuck is the money, man?
Oh yeah, man. Go ahead and send that cash out, boy. I'm up now, boy. You can do it. I'm with all that. Let's go. Tell them to send that cash out.
Well, what's your cash
out,
homie?
Yeah, now that's dead. Now let's talk about how your shitty ass dreams are going down the drain.
Once I get out of work, I'm gonna PM you, homie.
I bet.
You better give me that cash out. I bet.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
LT. And it's Shakur the one that cheats, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
What you mean, Shakur? What you mean? Bro, I know you're not talking about Oscar T-Tom Valdez.
We all know it's Victor Conte, bro. The one that fucking cheats like a motherfucker. And who's with Victor Conte?
The only reason why you saying that, do you understand that? Because, like I said, your era is over. The Canelo fanboys are going to be dinosaurs. It's dead. Y'all had y'all shit.
You are on a fucking panel. I am a caller. Let me fucking talk. Give me the fucking money. And plus, you fucking been saying that Canelo's gonna lose, bro. You owe that fucking money, homie. Keep on saying that shit.
Man, listen, what you getting in your feelings for? Because y'all era is over? What you mad? You mad because he's finally stepping up the competition? What you mad for?
No, he hung up. He's not on the air anymore, but he's saying that he's gonna send you a PM for the Cash App there, and it's just LT. Don't go around sending pics of your verga. All right, nobody wants verga pics.
Who's finally stepping up? Valdez? Is that who you're talking about?
Nah. And remember listen, LT. We had this conversation a couple weeks ago. You feel me? Like I'm not trying to. I don't want you to be over here being a superhero and try to help LT. I'm talking about.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking who you say stepping up.
I'm talking about Canelo Alvarez because, like I said, I mean, you guys can come with the facts, but how I feel about the situation is that he's been ducking. He's been ducking. He's been sitting here.
All right, hold on, Chibi. Let me just phrase it for you. Y'all can go take your facts and shove them up your ass, because my feelings trump that shit.
You can take
all right, now we know.
Shove it up your ass. He's been ducking. He don't want to step into any competition. Like I said, and now he finally finds. But look, I mean, come on, like let's just be honest here. Look how he's even been looking like even when that press conference. He seemed so confident when he fought my boy Caleb Plant. But now this one he's like, yeah, it's a tough fight. Oh, I know how the Triple G fight's gonna go, but this fight right here, I'm gonna be like I said, I see fear in his heart. It's first time. And then on top of that, he's sitting here trying to fight. He's literally, bro, how can you guys accept that he tried to fight a Kuda Matata? Let's just be honest here. Like, bro, how could we respect that?
Wait a minute, hold on. He didn't even mention that dude's name. The first time he said he heard about it was he was out golfing in his trainer when talking to a reporter who's in the future. Remember, when you're Canelo, your trainer just has to say a name. So he's talking to a fucking reporter. Reporter says, anybody in the future? I've been looking at people. Maybe we might go up to cruiserweight and fight this dude. That's all it took. The headlines were ran with it. There was no contract offers, whatever. They just threw the name out and they're looking. But you sit there saying he's cherry picking, but yet he's undisputed at 168. People mention Yildirim. Yildirim was a mandatory defense. He didn't pick him. He had to fight him, but lose the belts that he was trying to unify. So
yes, and I did look that up, and you were 100% right on that. I said, okay, I'm gonna let them have that. But all I'm saying is, you feel me? You don't feel like it's just a little mildly suspicious that as soon as freaking David Benavidez lost that belt, he just jumped up and said, "Let me go ahead and take this shit over." That don't seem no suspicion to you at all. That don't give you no.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's. I don't know if that's how the timeline went. But even if regardless, if it was, I don't know. I don't think Benavidez has anything for him, to be honest with you. But I think he would probably even beat him as bad as quicker than he would Plant. Or there's nobody at 160 who was going to beat him, but he was too big to stay in that. So at 168, he went there, he unified, and now he's going up to 175. I'm just saying, you could hate him, you can go all that shit. But he's the one doing it. I'm saying if it's so easy at 168, why didn't Charlo go up there and wipe everybody out? Why didn't he just go up and do it? Why didn't Benavidez wipe everybody out?
We're not talking about Charlo though, bro. We're talking about Canelo.
I'm just saying, but why did, if it's so easy, why didn't anybody else do it?
And then I'm saying, if it was so easy and if he was competing with greatness, the only thing that I'm asking is, why didn't if the 160 division is so easy to Canelo, why didn't he just dog out Charlo and Demetrius Andrade? He could have just dogged them out, became undisputed, and people like me wouldn't have nothing to say.
But Charlo turned down, and now it's official. They admitted it again, finally live, that they did receive an offer. Charlo just claims he never heard about it until after it was already turned down. Al Heyman supposedly said to the president of Golden Boy, "We're miles apart," and they had offered him at the time, which would still be Jamal's highest payday to date, even today. And they said, "We're miles apart." So that's when Golden Boy said, "Okay, fuck you. You're looking to fucking retire off Canelo's name." Instead of just taking the biggest payday he would have ever made and signed it and fought it, he didn't want to risk it. Well, Heyman didn't want to risk it the way Shakur Stevens saying, "Yeah, I'll take smaller money. I just want the fucking status so I can then go and earn more money." But I'm just saying, you can't dog Canelo. You can't say, "Oh, he ducked Charlo," when the facts, which I know you have a big issue with, my brother, but the facts are, it was Charlo who ducked fucking Canelo. That's the facts.
Oh, okay, but see, this is the thing. When I heard that he ducked Canelo, like I said, I may be wrong. Listen, and if I'm wrong, I'm 100% okay with that, bro. You feel me? You know, I'm only human. But what I've just heard is that when Canelo Alvarez did want to fight Jamal Charlo, that's when Canelo Alvarez was at 168 and Jamal Charlo was still at 160. And
no,
that's why
it was the end of 2000. It was December of 2018, I believe. He was still fighting at 160.
And then I also heard that it was vice versa, that when Charlo called out Canelo, you feel me? That Canelo also declined it too as well. I heard it went both ways.
But calling somebody out, going, "Where you at, Nello? Where you at, Cinnamon?" That's not an offer. That's just running your dick suckers on TV. What Canelo did was have somebody from this fucking department fax over a fucking offer sheet. "We will fight you on this date with this amount of money." And Al Heyman said, "We are worlds apart." And that's when they said, "Well, we're not going to offer any more money because he ain't worth it." And he isn't worth it because he hasn't done shit to be even fucking deservative of taking that fucking money. Well, that's just it. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest about it.
Yo, I
understand. Listen, I love you with all my heart, man. There ain't nothing wrong with a nice, good old debate. But all I'm saying is, man, fuck.
I know. I say personal.
All right. Listen, fellas.
It ain't personal. All right,
fellas. LT's calling back. Hold on a second. LT, what do you want to say to Chibi there?
I want my fucking money!
Oh, he wants his fucking money. All right. Well, listen, let's go to another phone call here. But hey, fellas, don't forget, hit the like, hit the light, all right? Let's go to 212. You're on the air. 212. What's on your mind?
Hey, BDA.
What's up, man?
It's Joe. Can you hear me?
Yes, Joe. We can hear you, man. Good to hear from you, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's happening? Great show as always. Love Jimmy's analysis as always. Soothsayer is great on the show. Listen, did anyone see? I just arrived to the show late. Did anyone see that crackhead Teofimo Lopez Sr. on the interview with Fight Hype yesterday?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but to give a little breakdown of what he said, just so in case anybody didn't see it.
Okay, he asked him a question. The reporter asked him a question about the Devin Haney fight with Kambosos. He didn't answer the question, and all he did was talk about him and his son the whole time. He didn't address the question. Just kept on saying that Kambosos is a dirty fighter, that his son couldn't breathe, that his son's going to never leave him. You know, the guy's delusional. I think someone should call child services on this guy because this guy is a mental case. I mean, he really is delusional. He might be a good hype man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a coach and as I mean, Top Rank should put a clause in their contracts. You are to know you are to not do any more interviews. I mean, this guy is just completely delusional. And some of these reporters, well, they're not really reporters; they're fanboys. They got to be putting a clown like this in his place. You know, I mean, it's laughable. I mean, it is good. It's good for comic relief. Listen to this clown. I mean, it is enjoyable to hear someone that you know who's that delusional. I mean, anyone that saw the fight saw that his son got his ass completely whipped. You know, and you know, and then the instructions in the corner were laughable. Like Jimmy said, it was like instructions you would give to a tough man competition in 7th grade recess.
Hey, but let me ask you, man.
And that's exactly what.
Well, let me ask you. Do you think Lopez is gonna be able to come back at 140 and be a world-class fighter, or what do you think happens there?
I don't know. I think like I said, I don't know if the kid's mentally tough enough. Look, I think we all don't wish ill will on the kid. I think we all are glad that he got a taste of some reality because, I mean, this kid's talking about that he was sitting down with Disney signing, you know, a multi-millionaire contract, and he was just lying the whole time. But he signed a contract with Top Rank, who in turn has a contract with ESPN, who in turn Disney owns. So don't act like you were sitting, you know, across the table from the CEO with Disney.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, he's a talented fighter, but maybe he's just not as good as we thought he was going to be. And this is what happens when you start fighting against good competition. I mean, listen, we can all admit to ourselves, Lomo is not a 135-pound fighter. I mean, even though you could make the argument that, you know, it could have been an even fight, or Lomo did get the better of him, maybe 1 or 2 rounds, but that's just not really his division.
Yeah,
and,
you're absolutely right.
You can't blame Lomo for doing it. You know,
there was some
but
extenuating.
He's just not a big. He's not a real. Just like Mikey Garcia is not a welterweight.
Exactly. Yeah, there are extenuating circumstances.
Mikey Garcia is not a welterweight.
Yeah, there's extenuating circumstances. There is context.
You know,
so we'll see what happens with Teofimo Lopez Jr., man. But hopefully he gets his act right, and yeah, man, we'll see what happens with him. But listen, we got to move on to another call here. But thank you for your call as always. Excellent.
Can I say one more thing? One more thing?
Absolutely.
One more thing.
Sure.
I wasn't impressed with Tim Tszyu's fight. I mean, I thought he got hit pretty easily. Hello?
Yeah, you're still here, man.
Yeah, I didn't think he didn't really look too impressive. Yeah, he has a heavy hand, but I mean, he was getting hit pretty easily, and he couldn't take that guy out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing it from a different point of view, but I mean, do you think my analysis is spot on, or?
I think it remains to be
I
seen.
agree with you. Oh, sorry, BDA.
Well, just because we have to move on here. But I think, listen, I sort of agree with your assessment. I think it remains to be seen. But at 27 years old already, Team Tszyu does have to. Times again is not on his side right now, so he's got to make it happen now. Get those big fights.
I thought the kid Elvis looked good. The Josh Warrington fight was entertaining. I guess he broke his jaw. I don't know what round. He broke his jaw during the fight. But overall,
it looked to me,
I think it was a good night
it
of
looked to
fight.
me it was right at the end of the fight. It looked like it was the last punch that Brashel, not Brashel, but the kid caught him with right before. He stunned him with a big shot, and the way he stretched his jaw after, and then literally right before he put it on him. I think that's when he got his jaw broke, and I thought that referee was too eager to jump in to wave that fight off.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit of that UK stoppage there, a little bit.
And Jimmy, I'm originally from Boston. I
could tell, dude. The way you were saying "kid," believe me, I could hear it in your voice.
Yeah, right. The accent's pretty thick.
Yeah.
Mickey Ward, he was an absolute gentleman. He really was. And Gotti was the guy that you wanted to go late night to, and have a good time. He was more of the fun party type of guy. But they were both sweetheart of a guys. I mean, I had good times with both of them. I hung out with them a couple times.
Good people. Nice.
And
so you met them both really totally good guys, right? Down to earth people, right?
What's that?
Totally down to earth people, right?
I didn't hear you.
Well, listen, he said good people.
I just said down to earth people,
man. And let me tell you something. Both those guys, good.
Yeah, down to earth people. We were buying him drinks out of respect for him, and told him that we're big fans, and you represented the Irish, the Boston Irish area. I know he's from Lowell. When he said thank you, I appreciate it, and we brought him around all night. He tried to buy us around, but we wouldn't let him, and he was very thankful, and like I said, he was such a class act. And,
well, listen, man, those are some.
Vittorio Gotti was funny.
I want to hear more of those tales, man. I want to hear more of those tales next time, man. But we're running a little bit out of time here, so I definitely want to hear those tales, man. So catch you on the next one, all right, man?
Back.
All right, listen, at BDA, we got to have another second Renaissance show soon, pal.
We're working on it, man.
I got some knowledge to drop.
Oh, okay, fantastic. All right, I'll let you know, man.
I got some subjects we could do.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Love to hear,
I'll send
man.
them to you.
All right, man. Take it easy again. Thanks for calling in, man. Catch you in the next one. All right.
Yeah, thanks for the time, pal.
All right, man. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that second Renaissance, we're working on it. Trust me on that. I'm a little pressed for time right now, but I'm definitely going to, we're trying to move to the Odyssey as well. So, all right, let's go to another phone call here because some people have been waiting. Let's go to 914. 914, you're on the air. 914, what's on your mind?
Hey, BD, sorry for calling again. I have a question about this website that you mentioned in one of your other shows, champignon.info.
Yes. That's my go-to alternative now for BoxRec, because BoxRec, they want you to sign up. I think it's because they don't want bots or something. But in any event, they fucked up the other day. We were watching a fight. I forget which one it was, and they got the winner wrong. So I said, now you want my email, and on top of that, you can't even get the fucking info right. So it's champignon.info, and I'm gonna put the link in the YouTube here. Just make sure it's the correct link.
Is that a Mexican? Is that a Mexican site?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's Italian or whatever something, but it's it's a good alternative. It's not as complete as BoxRec, but they do a good job. They have the big fighters in there at least. So yeah, go check that one out, man. Anything else, Fernando? You want to add before we move on?
Yeah. Do you like? Did you play a role in developing that site, or do you happen to know the people that made that site?
I wrote the script for it. No, I'm kidding. No, I just found it by accident because I was looking for alternatives for BoxRec, and I found that when I said, all right, let's get down to it, man.
Oh, because I was gonna say like the site's got a lot of potential. I mean, obviously they could put scorecards and also like navigate. So like once you click on one fighter, if you could like look through the record and click on the other fighters, within that record, that would be really cool in terms of page navigation and things like that. And add more statistics. Even if they got to scrape it from BoxRec, the site's got a lot of potential.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, if they keep developing it and adding more stuff to it, absolutely, man. Because BoxRec, I don't want to give my email. I'm done with giving out emails, man. Come on, let's go. All right, listen, Fernando, thank you for your call. We'll catch you on the next one, all right, man? Take it easy.
All right, guys, thanks.
No problem. Let's go to 214. You're on the air. 214. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I want to talk about the fights. Everyone who lost should retire. Lee Shelby should retire. Kiko Martinez should retire. Berchelt should retire. These guys are done. All of them.
You're not jiving, are you? You're saying they should retire. You're being serious.
No. Kiko, he's been in this for 18 years. He's done.
That's right.
Lee Shelby, he was a featherweight champion. He's fighting at lightweight. He's 35. He just got stopped. He's done. And Mark Berchelt's been in too many wars, and that last knockout stopped him completely.
You know, we concur with you with the Berchelt one. And Kiko Martinez, like you said, he's been in a lot of wars. I think he was nominated for Upset of the Year all the way back in, I think, 2007, 2008. So, yeah, he's been around, man, the ringer. I think it's about time those guys fade off out into the sunset. What else, man?
Yeah,
other than the Fighters Day.
I think Tim Tszyu, he's a disaster waiting to happen. You know, Terrell Gausha really could have beat him, but he has that Luke Campbell mindset where he's too timid, and he put himself on the ropes. He could have easily beat Tszyu. Tszyu doesn't really have a jab. He squares up too much. He's got so many weaknesses, and he's already 27. He looks slow to me.
Yeah, man, you're right, man. And he's got some work to be done. But if you rewind back to the beginning of the podcast, you will also hear Gonzalo giving some good points about Tszyu's strengths. So it's not all just black and white. There's some skill in there from the guy, and I guess we'll have to see what happens. We'll just see. We'll have to see what happens there.
Australia did him bad. He should have been fighting here in America, getting the real fight, so he can get prepared. They already put him on pay-per-view when he hasn't done anything.
That's a good point. But if he earns the money over there, and then they should be putting him on pay-per-view if he earns the money. But like you said, so far the competition hasn't been the best. Now it's time to put him in there with different types of styles, see what he can do. Because Dennis Hogan, okay, decent fighter, good mover. Inoue, tough fighter. But if he wants to surpass the Munguia level, he has to step it up. So 214. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Let's see. Yeah. Everybody said what they wanted to say about Teofimo. I like Teofimo. I think he's a talented fighter. I like watching him personally.
Mm-hmm.
I like him watching over Devin and Ryan. But his dad and him. Well, Teofimo concerning the loss. Yeah, he needs to get over that. You know, because he might be another Victor Ortiz. Because the way he talks, even when he was challenged by Nakatani, which I thought he won, and it was a good fight. He seemed disappointed, and he just like, no more tall guys. I'm like, what are you talking about? You did good, but you just got tested. That's all. And he just needs. I don't think his dad. I think his dad is the ultimate. He's gonna be him not being mentally strong, mixed with his dad being a hype man. If he doesn't, get past that, then he will have a very hard time at 140. But other than that, he's a talented fighter, and I just want to see him in the ring.
Well, there you go. See, that's
a talks in an interview. He makes himself look stupid.
There you go. That's a positive call there for Teofimo Lopez, and we're gonna talk more about that because we want to talk about the comments that Senior made. But anyway, listen, 214. Thank you for your call, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, man. Good call. Take it easy, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
We got to move on to a couple of things here because we're running out of time. But don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. The phone lines will remain open there for a little while longer here. And we got to get to some other stuff too as well. Emails. Fellas, I got to dip out for about 2 minutes. Keep the conversation going. All right, man?
Yeah. At this point, I'm thinking that Teofimo, he is the way he is like the expression in Spanish, crooked tree will never become straight. Algo que nace torcido, jamás enderezará. So what I'm trying to say is like it's best probably to continue being stupid and go down that route instead of being ambiguous. It's better to be hot or cold. If that's the way you think, don't be all of a sudden all meek in between. Well, maybe if you're stupid, just continue being that way, fucking one-track minded. Maybe that pay results because you're not getting into your feelings. And if that's the way Teofimo Sr. wants to be, hey, don't make your son be all wishy-washy, get all sentimental, be bullheaded. Give it another try like that. I know the definite insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again, trying to obtain different results. But, I mean, yeah, he lost one time. Let him have it another crack at it. Maybe next time around it will work for him. He almost had Cambosos out of there. He dropped them hard in the 10th. Hey, credit to Cambosos. He won. But all I'm saying is he's still fresh. He's still young. He can still bring it. See what they can do together.
I'm even. My thoughts on Teofimo is the thing is Teofimo hands down is a good fighter. But first off, it was more of a thing that I felt like even when he beat Lomachenko, that Lomachenko was just having a bad day. All fighters have those. And then on top of that, it's like as soon as he became champion, the ducking just got out of hand. It's like and then his ducking was far different from anybody else ducking. He literally said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat his ass." Da da da. Then the next day, it's like, nah, I don't want to fight that guy. Why would I fight him anyways? And he was a straight like a straight bitch, and I'm so glad that he's gone. But if he did go up to 140 and fight, Josh Taylor, I think he'll win that fight. I'll be honest there. But other than that,
especially the way Josh Taylor just looked,
disgusting. Just.
And I'm gonna play the clip. I'm gonna play the clip of Lopez, what they said after the fight last night on ESPN. Really delusional stuff. But can I just say we got a couple of stuff to get to here. First of all, shout out to Boxing Expert for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Saludos a mi canal favorito del boxeo. Mi canal favorito del boxeo. La Gata Charla nuevamente." Okay, so he's saying that Charlo has once again exposed his record against Zulensky. What a fight, he's saying. Oh, he's being sarcastic. Yeah, man, Boxing Expert. I mean, that Zulensky... Look, listen, I've said it before. The Zulensky fight is not that bad. But just compared to the fact that they were throwing Munguia in there, the potential for a Munguia fight, and all of a sudden, we're going to fight a guy that's already got 2 losses. And right now, it's not a lose-lose situation for Charlo. He can look good if he becomes the first one to stop Zulensky. But it's just... it's a bad fight right now at this stage of his career for him to be fighting this guy. But anyway, listen, fellas, we got to get to, because we're not running out of time. We're still going to be here for another half hour, but got to get to emails. Emails, communiques. People love to write to us now after they realize that we do have a email address. So people all over the world calling in, actually writing in. So let's read a couple of communiques. I don't like to call them emails, communiques. That's where we're at now. So here we go, emails, communiques. You can write to us from all over the world, fellas. Don't be scared. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Let's go to Daniel from London writing to us, and he says, "You guys think Bivol can get a decision against Canelo? Also, can I get a shout out?" Well, shout out to Daniel from London. I'm not gonna read the full address, by the way, because the last time people got a little heated, and I don't wanna let people know where you can find these fellas. But yeah, what do you guys think? Can Bivol get a decision against Canelo? I've been wondering that myself.
Bivol, is Bivol fighting? Bivol's gonna be fighting in America, correct?
Yes.
Bivol's gonna win by decision.
All right, so you're saying he does get the decision. Gonzalo, Jimmy, do you think he can get the decision on the cards right there?
Yeah, absolutely. He can get the decision. He hardly ever loses a round. And if he wins unofficially, the public, us boxing fans, we will never stop talking about it. Mm-hmm. So don't leave it up to the judges as far as the perception of what you saw to truly understand who won. Now, can he win it officially? Absolutely as well. Like I said, he hardly ever loses a round. The problem with that, he does one thing well, and Canelo's pretty complete. So if he can neutralize what Bivol does well, he might shut him out in a close fight where he's not going to win 7 rounds. He just might do enough to lose. But he can win if Canelo doesn't shoot him out. If Bivol can keep being successful, and it was done in his prior fights, especially against like a puncher like Smith, he can deal with the power and just keep winning rounds where he hardly loses a round. Yeah, and Canelo doesn't find the solution for that. Absolutely, he can win.
All right.
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, hold on. Let Jimmy. Let Jimmy. Let Jimmy go, man. Let Jimmy go.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I believe he can absolutely win a decision because I think if it goes to the scorecards, it could go wide. I mean, because Bivel's that good of a boxer. Obviously, I think Canelo's going to want to try to stop him. You know what I mean? They think to take that out of the judges' hands. But then again, if they're fighting probably Vegas is held. Remember, with him, that's serious home cooking there with Vegas. I'm not blaming Canelo for it, but you know how Vegas is. They like to reward the people who bring in the big money. And the guy, because, I mean, sorry, say Bivol wins. You think they're going to be offering Bivol $15-20 million site fees to hold his next fight? You know what I mean? That's right. So but I believe he can win. But I mean, it's a big risk. That's huge that he's actually going up to 175 to fight Bivol. That's a fucking big stones to take that fight.
In all the close fights that Canelo has had, Jimmy, I personally think he has won all of them by the hairs on his chinny Cotto, Trout, all of them except his losses to Mayweather and the Golovkin fight. So I mean,
I had Canelo. I had Canelo wide on Cotto. Sorry.
Okay, so people are pretty fed up with the sense that those close fights that he gets the nod. That a lot of people think that he deserved to lose those. I think in this Bivol fight, if he really loses it, but he gets it. Man, that's gonna be the straw that broke the camel's back. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
What happened through the whole situation? If they end up even cheating Bivol and giving it to Canelo, bro, the Canelo fans are not going to give a shit. They're going to be like, well, a win is a win, and that's how you got to just take it right up the ass. That's exactly how they're going to come up.
That's what they say about the triple. That's what they say about the Triple G rematch. They go, oh yeah, he whooped Triple G. It's like, what? He whooped, like they whooped each other, if you want to call it that. But I mean, just to say that Canelo beat that ass, I mean, that's how certain Canelo fans are, and they're not real boxing fans. There's a lot of Canelo fans out there that are just Canelo fans and not boxing fans. Then again, Canelo has his haters, so I guess it all balances itself out.
Yeah, he definitely has his haters, man.
Yeah.
True that.
Well, let's go to another email here. This is, that was from, what's his name? Jason. Daniel from London. Let's go to Jason from New York, Jason Berlanga. And he says, my brother's going to prove you all wrong. He's got skills. He's just saving them for when they count. Besides, how many rounds has he lost in his last 3 fights? Exactly. None. You keep doubting, we'll keep proving you wrong. Ya tú sabes. All right, so I think that's Berlanga's brother, Jason Berlanga. What do you guys... I mean, well, we already talked about it ad nauseum last week about Edgar Berlanga not really being all that good. And like Jimmy said...
Learn to code.
Oh, you're turning into a liberal journalist now, man. What the fuck? But yeah, man. He needs to. I think Top Rank, like Jimmy said, Top Rank's probably looking to cash him out because he's not living up to the hype. So we don't want to spend too much time on this. But shout out to Jason Berlanga, and listen, maybe your brother's gonna be able to prove us all wrong. Let's go to Danny from Ohio. Donnie Flex, and he says, "Love the show, guys. Everyone on the panel. I'm looking forward to that second Renaissance bodybuilding episode with Jimmy. I'm something of an amateur bodybuilder myself and would love a chance to talk shop with him. Let me know when it airs. In the meantime, stay buff, stay tight, stay right." All right, there you go, Jimmy. We're hyping people up for that upcoming episode. Can you do it this week, by the way? You think you'd be able to? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fantastic.
We'll be able to do it this week, no doubt.
Fantastic. Yeah, just brush up if you need to on a couple of your notes. Just so that we're on point and that we get everything tightened up. All right, just like this guy. He said, "Stay tight." So that was done.
Stay tight.
That sounded.
That reminds you of Goldfinger. Remember that? Or for that Austin Powers.
Uh-huh.
You remember that dude? He's always saying that he's tight.
All right, let's go. Shout out to Donnie Flex.
He's super skinny, you know. He's the type of guy that would fit through the grill of your windows.
Oh man,
has to run around the shower to get wet.
Yeah, but
I guess it goes right by him.
All right, so shout out to Donnie. He's a good guy. Let's go to Igor Garlovsky from the Ukraine, somewhere in the Ukraine, and he says, "Yo, greetings.
Ouch.
This is Igor Galvrovsky. I was wondering who you guys were gonna pick in the rematch between Jermel Charlo and Brian Castaño. Also, I'm a Ukrainian refugee seeking asylum in Canada, preferably in a city with plenty of marijuana stores and a fat white woman. I humbly ask Bucho and BDA to make some calls to get me in. I would be forever grateful. Inshallah, I mean, pobaichimos." All right. Something tells me this guy's
Trudeau's not taking Ukrainians.
Well, listen, something tells me this guy, he doesn't really look all that Ukrainian. But look, I could make a couple of calls to the consulate, maybe work something out. But I would need a lot of super chats for that to happen, man. I'm just saying. So wire us a couple of super chats during this episode or the next, and maybe we'll talk. All right? Why not?
Jermel Charlo by KO.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. As for your question, I got Jermel Charlo winning the rematch, but I still think it's going to be tough. What do you guys think?
Oh, it's going to be the toughest fight. It's going to be the toughest fight Jermel Charlo ever been in because Castaño can fight, man. I love him, but no, it's going to be a nice, good old KO. Then we'll have another undisputed champion. So that's good to know.
All right. Well, there you go. I guess we'll see what happens.
Castaño, man. It's a good fight, though, stylistically. Jermel Charlo, has a counter puncher waiting for the right shot, but when you got a guy that's applying the pressure and hardly gives you time to think because you got your hands full, he keeps you busy with the amount of punches he throws. Man, it's hard to come up with the game plan because you just you got your hands full. So yeah, Jermel Charlo will have his hands full, and if it goes the distance, you gotta favor the guy that lets his hands go more because he's gonna rack up the points. Unless he gets hurt or dropped, okay, yeah, he could get the stoppage, but I just favor Charlo. I mean, sorry, correction. I favor Castaño. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You was right the first time.
I had Castaño going into the first fight, and I do believe he won the fight. And I agree with Gonzalo about him staying very active. But looking at both fighters, who has the ability, do I think, to make corrections? And, I believe that'd be with Charlo. I think he's more athletic. It depends, can he do it? Just because he has the ability, will he do it? Some guys, when they get cracked, they revert back to what they do. But I think he can find some openings. Castaño does some things in there you can take advantage of if he does some film study and really, trains against people who brings that style to him. And it's usually, you always say who can make the adjustments. I think out of the two, I think Charlo's athletically gifted enough to make the adjustments needed. Will he? That's the question.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that fight.
Sorry, BD.
Yeah, we're just going to, let's just leave it at that because we got other stuff to get to. And I don't want to let's save some for when the fight actually comes along in the coming weeks. In any event, let's go to more emails. All right, so that was Igor. We'll see what we can do for you there with the Canadian Embassy. Let's go to, this is an email from Manuel. Manuel from Sonora, somewhere in Sonora. And he says, so I heard BDA saying Canelo doesn't look Mexican because the majority of them are actually mestizos. Well, here's a photo of my cousin Pacho from Los Mochis. Bet you feel real stupid now, don't you? Well, listen, in Los Mochis, yeah, it's true. In Los Mochis, there's a lot of white people, white Mexicans, but that's still, they're the minority. So when you say, it's like in Japan, there's something called the Ainu people there. Somewhere in the south or north or whatever, they look kind of European. But that doesn't mean they look. When you tell somebody that, hey, this guy looks Japanese, you think a guy that looks Asian, not a guy that looks white and with European. So this doesn't really prove anything. That's my position on that, and I maintain that. All right. This is from Larry from Minnesota. He says, everyone make a note. Trampires are just like vampires. They fear the cross of the one true Lord, which I've just put on top of my roof. Hopefully that'll deter Mr. BDA from sneaking into my house to suck me dry. No means no, you freak. Well,
no comment.
Now I have to blame the people in the chat for spreading this. I like joking as much as the next person, but then when I get harassed like this, the trampire. A trampire is a vampire, a tranny that only comes out at night, and that's not me, all right, man? So, anyway, I think the less said, the better about this email. All right, couple of jokers there.
Sounds like you're just like Canelo, man. You got haters too, huh?
That's right. Yeah, everyone's going after BDA. They want a piece of me, man. They ain't getting it. All right, let's go to.
Jealous.
Hopefully, this is a serious one. Ray Piazza. Ray Piazza from Chicago. He says, "Hi, this is Ray Piazza. Only 3 years ago, I was studying for my business degree. Now I run a successful delivery company. I'm the type of motivated man that the PBC needs in order to help fighters like Jermall Charlo grow. I can easily do this with any business using my patented program, OPP, Organization, Perspicacity, and Passion. With OPP, I took a struggling business and turned it into a multi-million-dollar setup. We now ship underage prostitutes across the globe in double the time of our competitors. Charlo should take notes. Dream big, guys. Dream big."
Well, he joined the PBC because, I mean, they did it with OPC, other people's cash. So, you know.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, Charlo, he does have a good point, though. Charlo needs some better representation, and he even gave Canelo props on a DAZN podcast, and he's saying, yeah, people say that he's docking me. He ain't docking me. He's fighting good opposition, so we ain't, he says nobody docks anybody in this business. We're all fighters. So, hey, maybe give Ray Piazza, actually don't give Ray Piazza a call, because that, I'm going to ignore the last part of that email. And finally, this email is from Captain Sugar Cheeks from Los Angeles, California. And he says, I run a successful hair salon, and I'm going to be fighting a rival owner in a charity boxing match. Problem is, I'm a lazy queen and have never been much for physical sports. I know. It's hard to believe since I've got a banging body and love to be surrounded by men. Anyway, my question is for Jimmy. Jimmy, how much cocaine do I need to snort in order to have an edge over my opponent? P.S. The quantity is no problem. I got a shitload at home. Ciao. So yeah, how about that, Jimmy? How about that? How much coke does a guy?
You could go away dying, man. Your heart will explode.
No, man, that was the best one, man. That was funny as shit, man.
But Jimmy, how about that, man? How about that though? How much? Like, if you snort a little cocaine, does it give you a boost? Does it give you pain resistance?
Of course. Yeah, of course. No, especially if you snort it, it's gonna fucking numb up your nose. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna tell you to tell this guy, ask you to tell this guy how much he should. But then again, I think legally, I don't think you're allowed to. So let's just.
I would. I mean. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Leave it at that. Leave it at that.
Listen, exactly.
That was emails, everybody. Thanks again for writing in. The email address is in the About Us page here in this channel. So thanks again to everybody who wrote in. Some of them were a little jokerish, not taking it seriously. But hey, listen, you're free to write in however you want. So that was emails, communiques. Thanks for writing. All right. Hey, listen, getting back to stuff here, I want to play you what's it called? Oh, yeah, Teofimo Lopez, Teofimo Sr. and Jr., some of the comments they made. These guys, I mean, well, actually, let me just play it first, and then we'll get some comments. But these guys, they're all out of whack, let me tell you. All out of whack. So hold on a second. I'm putting trying to sync it here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sharing the screen with you guys here. All right, let's start off with Teofimo Lopez Sr., what he had to say about it. All right, there we go.
What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to catch up with you. What do you think of this Haney-Kambosos fight, man?
Can you guys hear it, or is it a little too low?
I can hear it.
Okay.
If it comes through, what are your thoughts? I think,
Okay. Notice, hey, MMA champ, what's up, man? We're just playing Teofimo Lopez Sr.'s interview here that he did after the fight. Let's just notice this. He gets asked about the Kambosos Haney fight, and notice how he just doesn't fucking answer the question.
Haney-Kambosos fight, man. If it comes through, what are your thoughts? I think,
Actually, hold on a second. Hold on. People are saying it's too low, and they can't hear it. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds here. And so whoever's on the phone line there, give me 2 seconds, because we're gonna be playing this clip here. Actually, hold on, you know what? Let me get to the phone call first, because I don't want to keep people waiting. And then we'll get to the video here. 310, you're on the air, 310. What's on your mind?
What's happening? Boom Boom guy representing the LDBC. What's going on, man?
Oh my God.
Well, you tell me, man. What's on your mind?
Yep. I'm a little bit disappointed in you, Mr. BDA.
Oh.
You made that video yesterday. Again, disrespecting the lightweight WBC champion, Devin Haney. I thought we got this out the way.
How did I do that?
LGBTQ.
Well, hold on a second. How did I do that? How did I disrespect them?
You again said the belt is a trinket. It's not a factor, which this is the only reason Devin Haney is getting this big fight, because he has that belt that's recognized by all other sanctioning bodies except the WBC. So all other sanctioning bodies have a super champ and a regular champ. The only sanctioning body that doesn't represent the regular champ as their champion is the WBC. But if you look at all other sanctioning bodies, they only recognize the regular champion, which is Devin Haney.
Let me ask you a question.
You can look it up.
Can I ask you a question?
Can I just say? Can I just say something about that though, please?
Hold up, BD.
Well, he come on. He was addressing me, and I wanna listen. You just said it yourself there, Boom Boom. You said, oh, it's recognized by the other organizations. You're talking about the other corrupt organizations, the other snakes out there, the bean counters that just want their money however the way they can. I mean, that's why I don't respect them. And let me tell you something, Boom Boom. I'm getting tired of all these boxing fans who complain about not getting the big fights, boxing's corrupt, and then they turn around and they legitimize these sanctioning belts. Let me tell you, these sanctioning belts are coming at you with a hard cock, and instead of fighting them off, you're bending over, spreading your ass cheeks, and saying, "Give me all you got."
Hey, yo. But
look, I agree with that. But if three sanctioning bodies only recognize the regular champs, WBC needs to get on par with the rest of the sanctioning bodies. Why are you being this lone wolf and you're making all this confusion? That's why Cambosa thinks he's some undisputed champ. And on top of that, you were about to. You're saying what Devin Haney is and Bill Haney. All right, so let me say this. What you think Bill Haney and Devin Haney is, it's really Teofimo Lopez and his dad. Because they lost, they made excuses, and Devin Haney and Bill Haney have never done that. Well, they
when did I say that,
never took a loss. But yeah,
when did I say that? Well, I don't remember. Well, hold on. I don't remember saying. I don't remember saying that they're making excuses for losing. First of all, they haven't lost, so why would I say that?
No, but I'm saying you guys are trying to paint Bill Haney and Devin Haney as what you seen in that video that you're about to play, because I've seen it too. It was disgusting. Like they were trying to ask him about the new fight. I don't even think Loma was scooped that low. But yeah, what they basically dismissed the fight and said all of them bums and the fight was fixed. That's what Tszyu was basically getting to, that the fight was fixed.
Well, we've never disparaged Haney to the level that we've done with the Lopezes, because the Lopezes deserve it, and so far the Haneys have not yet acted in such an uncouth manner. So I disagree there, but I do agree that the Lopezes do deserve to be chastised as we've done before. So
Boom Boom,
hold on,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, MMA champ. Ask him a question.
So Boom Boom, it seems like you like Devin Haney. Do you like his big nose? Is that what you like about him?
Come on. Now, wait a minute. See, now that
I think for guys to judge another guy's appearance, leave that to the ladies. If he has a problem getting with the ladies because of his big nose, come on. But other than that, come on, you sound gay, man. Come on, dude.
MMA champ, let me ask you, brother. You said
your big question.
You didn't think the Lopez Lomachenko fight was close? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say that. I said Loma.
I misunderstood you. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
I haven't seen Loma talked about Devin Haney or his fight with. He said he was hurt. That was the only thing I had on him. Well, everyone's hurt when they lose, to be honest.
Well, listen,
Mr. BDA, that
everything he just said, in my personal, what I do agree with him on is that how they did, like how they belittled Devin Haney with the WBC belt, and I was like, bro, like that is kind of low key fucked up, because he is still a champion, but he had to do something and had to show greatness to get the Kambosos fight where he's finna get this year, and that's all I gotta say.
Well, can I just say something? Can I say something about that real quick? Well, hold on, real quick. When you deal with these alphabet organizations and they screw you over, listen, the Scorpion and the Frog.
Are you talking about the LDBC?
Look up. No, well, I'm talking about the Haney and the championship organization, WBC, IBF, whichever. Look up the fucking fable of the Frog and the Scorpion. The Scorpion doesn't change its nature, and the same thing with this organization. So if you're dealing with these organizations, don't be surprised when they sting you. All right, that's all I'm saying. But anyway, listen, we got to move on. But Boom Boom wants to say something else.
Organizations,
but,
they're
hold on,
MMA
money. Champ.
You don't care about the fighters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, man. All right, so Boom Boom, you want to say something before we move on?
I forgot. I was listening to you guys. I'll call
Sorry about that.
All right, you have dementia.
Okay, come on, man. Come on. All right, he hung up. I didn't even get a chance to get by. But listen, thanks to Boom Boom for calling in. And yeah, listen, I mean, I don't know how many times I can say. Somebody else left a long ass message there telling me that, no, well, he's not undisputed. Look, undisputed means that there's no dispute. So whether one guy has a belt or two other guys have other belts, in other words, if they take away all the belts from Kambosos, well, all of a sudden he's no longer the champ. Please stop fucking giving credibility to these sanctioning organizations. There's 4 now. 4, the WBO. And by the way, Golden Boy Promotions, or aka the Ring Magazine, they came up with that good thing in the early 2000s with the Ring Magazine belt, because the rankings, they weren't perfect, but at least they were trying to get rid of the alphabet organizations. Then comes Golden Boy. Whoops, all of a sudden they start recognizing that the alphabet organizations again. You can't half-ass it. You gotta go all the way and just don't fucking give him any attention. Don't give him any attention. And then people have the goal to complain about, oh, we're not getting the big fights, boxing screwing us over. Well, you're recognizing the fucking championship belts. I know it's not easy because, yeah.
Listen, all these fighters, getting screwed over by the sanctioning bodies. Listen, these sanctioning bodies, they don't care about you as a fighter. You got to understand that. They don't care about, they care about which fighter brings the most money into their pocket, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, it's really just business at the end of the day to them. So,
Well, listen, the fight's happening at least. The fight's happening, so whether there were any belts involved or whether they're going to strip Kambosos before the fight, whatever, at least this fight's happening. Let's be happy about that.
I heard that Mike Carpenter said that Haney has a multi-fight deal with Top Rank in the Bella promotion.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy said there from that email. That it's a co-promotional deal or something. So we'll see what happens with that.
I'm saying, he's having like a multi-fight deal with them. Like he's not signed to Matchroom no more.
Yeah, apparently. Listen, I'm just going to reread the email here real quick. It says, multi-fight co-promotional deal for Haney with Top Rank and Lou DiBella. Lou, doing some good business there. All right, listen, let's play this fucking video here. Enough procrastinating.
What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to catch up with you. What do you think of this Haney-Kambosos fight, man? If it comes through, what are your thoughts?
I think, listen, Kambosos is a dirty fighter. Going into that fight, that wasn't the plan that we had. When after the first round, my son couldn't breathe, and it's like somebody shoots you twice. He had 2 holes in his body, and he couldn't breathe. Everybody knows what happened, and he started fighting.
Okay, so he's gone on now for 20 seconds talking. He hasn't even answered the question. He's making excuses.
He said that wasn't the plan we had, but in the corner he was saying, "Get him out of there." You knock him out and stuff like that. So how was that not the plan? So it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. He's contradicting himself a little bit there.
His fight. My son don't fight like that. We stay in the outside all the time. And, that wasn't our game plan. I couldn't coach him. He was uncoachable because he couldn't breathe. He couldn't box. So, that shit happens, bro, I think Devin has him. You know what I'm saying? Devin is
okay, so finally, after 40-something seconds, he answers the question there that he thinks Haney has him.
And if he says all that, right, like he was uncoachable, he couldn't do nothing, he couldn't breathe, then why the fuck did you allow him to go in there to fight?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? The big question is why the fuck is the Teofimo people still relevant, man? Like, I don't understand. Like, gives a
If
shit.
Teofimo had all these injuries and couldn't breathe, why was he allowed to get in the ring? Why did you, as his father, not just a trainer, as his father, let him get in the ring when he had that? Right? Doesn't make any sense.
Especially after all the shit.
He didn't
What
look like
doesn't
he
make
could.
sense to me is that this is like a big topic of the day because like who gives it, bro? Fuck Teofimo. The nigga lost. He's a sore loser, bro. If you took an L, take a freaking L, bro. You feel me? And then like that's the thing about the Teofimo fam. They sit here and procrastinate, and then like 35 seconds later, now you want to give up your answer. They're just trying to stay relevant, bro. Once you go ahead, go up to motherfucking 140, beat up Josh Taylor, and then I might give you the time of my day. But until then, bro, you irrelevant, bro. Like, who gives a fuck Teofimo Lopez?
I'm compelled to play this video, man, because I'm just amazed at how people supported these guys in the first
But
place.
also, he didn't look like he couldn't breathe when he was acting like Adrian Broner after the fight, saying, "I won that fight. The whole hood knew I beat that boy." Like, come on,
great point.
No, but you know what?
What?
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Go Gonzalo. No, go Gonzalo.
I was just gonna say he had a great 10th round. He was about 2-3 punches away from knocking out Kambosos. Just gotta mention that.
Absolutely.
My thing is, if he was really injured, why the fuck was he letting the mountain tee off on his sternum?
You always got to bring that up, Jimmy.
Another
It's just
thing we're not even
craziness.
putting into perspective is look how long that fight had to wait to happen. Bro, like I hated him as a champion, man. Like he's just like, bro, it's just his procrastination, and he always got excuses, and not just, bro. Like anybody named Teofimo, bro. If I see anybody named Teofimo on the streets, bro, I'm sliding them off rip just because. Like I don't, bro. Like he just was the worst, man. Then he'll talk shit and say, "Oh, I'll beat him up and this and that." Oh yeah, we're gonna fight on the zone, this and that, and then the fight never happens. It never fucking happens, man. Like,
Shibi, did you say if you see any of his fans in the street, it's gonna be on? Is that what you said?
No, I can anybody named Teofimo.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Nah, don't worry. I'm not southpaw now. Just chill.
All right, let me keep playing this. Let me keep playing this.
Boxer, and this guy's gonna be short-lived. You know what I'm saying? Kambosos not gonna hold those belts. You know, the first fight he has with a top contender, he's gonna lose. You know, he's a dirty fighter, fights with his head down. You know, one thing about fighters like that, we never fight going forward like that. You know, aggressive like that because, you know, you get head-butted. You know, you saw my son's got a big ass slash, and you know, and he had to commit because he couldn't breathe. He just wanted to get him out of there. You know, but we stood at 135 too long, man. 9 years at 135. 9 fucking years.
That keeps, again, he keeps saying, well, we should have moved up. Then why didn't you? Why did they insist that they couldn't make 135 anymore? And then they fight Kambosos to keep all the belts because they wanted to keep all the belts. Why not just move up already? If you're having that, see, they contradicted themselves for a whole year, avoiding a Lomachenko rematch. They could have rematched Lomachenko instead of going through this whole rigmarole, but instead we want to.
And I was told that weight was being a big issue for Lopez. Remember, I got crucified for that. A few people calling, "Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. He's making weight." Somebody said his father told him. I was like, well, obviously that's what his father's saying. That he's having no problem making weight. I'm just going by his size. Look at how wide his back is. You can't tell me it's not. And he's getting older too, because at the time he's 21, 22. So I said, as he gets older, it's only going to get harder. I don't think his father realized that. Listen, I don't think his father knows that much about boxing. He just says a tough kid who got into boxing, and he's just been, you know, instead of working a fucking 9-to-5 job, he just tied his ass to his son.
Excellent point there.
And that style doesn't stay sharp, and it doesn't just go for him. It goes for a lot of these counter punchers. You catch and you shoot, but if you shoot and you miss, man, you're not shooting that often, so you're just counter punching every now and then. You only get so many times you're trying, so I mean, yeah, you got to stay sharp with the style.
And that shoulder roll only worked for Floyd because of two reasons: Floyd's conditioning and he had one of the best for range. It took him about 1 minute of sparring you or boxing you to know exactly where your range is. So he was excellent at knowing, that's why it worked for him. People try to adopt that and it just doesn't work.
Hey, let me go to a phone call here. I think it has to do with Lopez's. 661, you're on the air. 661, what's on your mind?
So you can always kind of tell who are the Lomachenko fangirls as soon as Teofimo Lopez gets hard, right?
Oh man!
Because I find it funny how Teofimo Lopez did beat Kambosos. All you gotta do is go rewatch the fight without an envious heart, right? But it's just like Jack Catterall versus Josh Taylor, right? Jack Catterall versus Josh Taylor, same thing. Everybody out of a sudden,
I think he might be legally blind.
Hold on, let me finish. But
go ahead. The thing is, they just can't believe it. It's just like they want to convince me about China. China is so corrupt. I'm not convinced. Little dumb fucks like Black Chibi might be convinced because he's a dumb fuck, can't think for himself. Just a dumb little pawn, typical.
Black Chibi,
you know how these Black Chibis get used in.
Well, let
you know how these Black Chibis get used in America.
I want to ask you a quick boxing question.
You know how these Black Chibis get used in America for just destruction and just they're little dumb crash dummies.
All right, let Chibi respond. Let Chibi respond. Chibi, go ahead. Chibi, go ahead.
Because I'm a big believer. If you guys been following me and whatnot, and I've been in these channels here and there, I'm a real big believer in science now. So you said that Teofimo won that fight, and then you said something about Josh Taylor won the other fight. I do believe.
Go watch it again.
And the only thing I'm asking is because I do believe in the multiverse theory. Which universe are you in? Are you in C-130? Because I'm pretty sure in my universe, your boy got smacked. Okay,
yeah,
so just relax.
He's not on Earth.
I'm in the universe where the little Loma cheerleaders made excuses. Oh, he had a shoulder. He didn't make excuses, but if Teo says he had asthma, he's making excuses. That's the universe I'm in. The one where they're trying to convince me that China is so bad.
But hold on, fighter spirit. Hold on.
Exactly. I'm in that universe.
Fighter spirit.
When you were talking about when Lomachenko... Hold on. When you talking about Lomachenko versus...
sorry, fellas, he dropped out. Fighter spirit.
I would say that he did win by a couple of points. I said, and I literally said this, and I said this all the time. I said that Lomachenko was just having a bad day. It happens. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen.
But if they would have did a rematch, all hands down, Lomachenko would have dog walked the shit out of him, hands down.
Fighter spirit, call back. Gonzalo, hold on. Fighter spirit, call back because he hung up. So call back and try to call back with the same voice, please. Don't switch up on us. But go ahead, Gonzalo. Yeah.
Yeah, the fight was closer than a lot of people have it. Yeah, okay, I'll give him that much. But I still think Kambosos won a close fight. He still looked... Teofimo Lopez still looked defeated. By the end of that fight, he looked defeated. He was beat up like the sloth from Goonies. Was that character? No, Baby Ruth.
He
looked all fucked up.
Yeah,
John Matusa, like the sloth. He was looking all messed up. I know that you don't score facial damage, but just the whole narrative, man. He got dropped in the first round when he was the one looking for the first round knockout. And he had to get 10th round. It was a close fight, but I still think he lost, man.
Hey, Gonzalo, he was looking like the guy. You might remember the guy at the end of RoboCop, the bad guy who gets a bunch of sludge dropped on him and he starts melting.
BDA, it seems like BDA. It seems like Teofimo Senior might have been sleeping with Fighter Spirit too.
Oh, wait a minute. You can't say that, man. That's Fighter Spirit, man. Come on.
And I'm curious though, why do Fire Spirit even hate me? I never came for Homeboy.
What was that? Did you guys cut off, or can you hear me?
No, but what I was saying is what's Fighter Spirit beef with me, bro? I never had a problem with him. I think he's in denial and delusional, but I never said nothing about it. I usually just let him talk.
He doesn't like the
maybe
fact
because you're... Sorry.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. No, go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead. Sorry.
Maybe because your name, it sounds like Black Sheep, you know, and it's kind of like satanic. They have a thing with like goats and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know, as far as the what's it called, Josh Taylor, real quick, the fight, man. I thought that Catterall was landing the lefts. He was punching through the target. He was getting everything on it, like clearly punching and across it, you know, through the target with that long left hook that was turning over, and I didn't see Josh Taylor throw any punch like that in the entire fight as compared to the work that Catterall did. Landing cleanly.
Yeah, you're right, man. That fight, listen, Josh Taylor simply doesn't want to run that bond back at 140, so it's doubtful that Catterall will ever get a shot at him again. Let's go to another phone call here. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Copper Collar King, a.k.a. Boom Boom, who called in earlier, and he says, Garza. Oh, to Rafael Garza. He says, Garza, the fight is signed for June the 5th. Donate 100 buckaroos to the channel. You lost the belt. Are you a man of your word? Oh, yeah, they did have some... What was the bet that the fight was going to happen? Well, how about this? How about the fight... Well, you guys work it out however you want to. And by the way, you don't need to keep donating money. Oh, shit. Well, there you go. Rafael just donated $100. Shout out to Rafael. I was going to say you don't have to do that. But listen, we'll take the money any way we can, man. Shout out to Rafael Garza. Donating that for the bet that they had, a little wager. By the way, it's a Sunday, and I must say that the wagering is against my religion, so I can't be too happy about this. We'll donate that.
That is pretty good that he did pay up like that, though. Like, he just threw it right in, man. So, you know what? Props to him, though, right?
Hey, Rafael is a man of his word, that's for sure. All right, that was a donation alert for. All right, shout out to Rafael, man. Rafael, you're a man of your word. You see that in a world in which here on the internet a lot of people don't back up their words. Rafael certainly did, man. My goodness gracious. I mean, he's got. You know what? I'm starting to think maybe $100 is peanuts for the guy. I wonder, maybe he's Elon Musk, or maybe he's the Mexican version of Elon Musk, Elondo Musk, or something like that. But shout out to Rafael.
Carlos Slim.
Carlos Slim, yeah. New York Times guy. Hey, shout out to Tony Boswell as well for rejoining the membership program. Whoa, everyone's being very generous today on this Sunday. Shout out to Tony as well for his, rejoining the membership program. Shout out to you. Oh, and then, all right, guys, you got to stop, please. You don't need to be donating this much, man. I appreciate it, but Copper Color King donating again with a super chat. He says, Garza, you are LDBC approved. All right, shout out to Color King for his contribution. Always appreciate it, guys.
Or maybe like that woman, that parable in the Bible that doesn't have anything, the widow lady. What if that's like his only $100 and he gave him that? He's that much more like good, you know?
Yeah, that's even more substantial, I would say. But shout out to you guys. I feel a little inadequate taking this money, but shout out to you guys. If it's never turned down a good thing. That's what they say. So we'll be taking that and putting it to good use. Trust me, it's not just going to green tea and porno mags. All right. All right. So I want to fast forward. So shout out to all of you guys. Really appreciate it. Can't say that enough. I'll fast forward to this Teofimo Lopez Sr. because he's just rambling. But the part that's really creepy is near the end here.
Devin doesn't commit. Devin stays at the outside. He boxes. It was just killing us. And I'm just so happy that we're going straight to a world title now at 140. And you're hearing it from me right now. I'm never wrong. And I said it. The only way we could lose is by health. Come May. And
hold on a second.
We don't know who we're fighting, though. The fans, I just got to.
Things you got to do.
I'm looking for the part where they're talking about how if he's gonna have a assistant trainer. Hold on.
Against Kambosos to beat him. What's some of the things you got to do?
No, like what we always do because of his situation.
All right, fuck it. I can't find it, but like other people said, they asked him about an assistant trainer. He goes, "I'm never gonna leave my." What did he say? My son always listens. He said, "I didn't do anything wrong. My son's never gonna leave me." So it sounded like he's got Teo Jr. wrapped around his finger. I don't know. It was weird, man. Especially when you hear that they used to sleep together until he was 15 or something. A little bizarre. Let me go.
He mentioned that they're considering, but they're not deciding.
And what does he mean? He's never wrong. He said, "Fuck, his son was going to knock Cambozo out in the first round."
Yeah,
he was screaming it across the hotel lobby. Fucking knucklehead.
But you know what the worst part too is when he goes no excuses, and then he goes right back to making excuses. The hole in the chest, whatever. I mean, Lomachenko. They derided Lomachenko for talking about the injured shoulder, and then they're doing the same thing here. So it's just goes to show you that they shouldn't have talked too much. That's what's happened. Listen, even before the Lomachenko fight, he harassed Lomachenko's entourage when he was drunk. And when they asked him why he did that, he goes, "I don't know. I just got triggered." Got triggered? What are you, a snowflake? Anyway, here's the interview they did with Teofimo Jr. Actually, hold on. Before we get to the Teo Jr. one, we got a couple more phone calls here. Let's go to 917. You're on the air. 917. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? Just a question. Do you think that if Haney signs for June 5th, and do you think there's enough time for him to do a proper training camp and get acclimated to Australia? Like the time change, all those changes from now until then?
That's an interesting question.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. If he'd be smart to hold his camp there, I'd get, even more acclimated. But will he? That's the question. Might be hard because of training partners. I don't know if you have to fly out training partners. But I know Lomachenko was willing to fly out there and hold his camp there to assure the fight would happen in case there was any COVID restrictions popped up.
Yeah, caller, does that sort of answer your question there?
Gotcha. Yeah, it just seems like with two full months and like 5 days, I guess, is left. He would have to jump on it.
Because Haney's in good shape. Well, Haney keeps himself in good shape. You ever see him? He's never he always keeps himself in fighter shape. So, you know what I mean? You really only need 6-8 weeks tops if you're in shape. Some of these guys, they have 8-week camps because the first month of it is fat camp. And that's not the case with him. So I think it's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you probably want to be running or doing some type of training in the United States right around the time you would be fighting in Australia. So just figure if it's this time in Australia that day in the United States, when it would be that time in the future, you kind of want to be training right around that time. That way you'll be active. Your brain not like in sleep mode, if I made any sense.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because of the time difference there. Caller, anything else you want to say before we move on?
What was that Teo Senior said in the first sentence of that little clip? He called George a dirty fighter.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call him a dirty fighter. I don't know where he got that one.
Well, they said the same thing about Lomachenko, about he's headbutting us. He said, well, you're clinching him, so I don't know what these guys want, man. These guys, everyone's against the Lopez's, apparently. Everyone's against them. There's a big conspiracy against the Lopez's, man.
Well, who the hell are the Lopez's, man? That's what I'm trying to figure out, dog.
Well, they're big time. They're big time. Their marquee name, prime time. That's what they think.
The only Lopez I know that's big time is George Lopez. Other than that, bro, any Lopez, bro, the Teofimo Lopez's are fucking more goofier than him.
Oh, well, that's Chico's opinion right there.
Yeah, Lopez on my mom's side. That's my second name.
No kidding. Yeah. Gonzalo Lopez. All right, well, listen, caller, we got to move on, but thank you for your call. Catch you in the next one, all right, man? Take it easy.
No doubt.
That's my second last name, not my first, but yeah.
All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 226. 226, you're on the air. 226, what's on your mind?
Hey, it's my good pals. How we doing, huh?
Oh.
How's everything going at the VDA? How's everything going at the boxing, academy over there at the VDA? How's everybody doing?
The boxing academy. Well, first of all, is this Slugger Sam? Because we've had people call in that sound like you, and then they rebuke us. No, it's not me. It's not Slugger Sam. So is this Slugger Sam? Just to make sure.
Oh, those guys are phonies. Those guys, VDA. Those guys are phonies. Those guys are just out to cause trouble between me and you because they know me and you we're the best of buds. So they try and call like me and try and stir up an issue. But I got a serious question to ask. I called Rival Boxing the other day, and the guy that picked up the phone, I could have sworn the guy was Guccio. Does he work for Rival? Be honest with me, VD. Don't lie to me. Does he work for Rival?
Well, I can confirm that he does not work for Rival, but if Rival wants to send us some gear, free gear that we can review or something, hey, I'm all for it, man. Why not?
Yeah, I was calling because they got the greatest equipment, and it kind of it's kind of hard in a way to believe that Montreal produces anything great.
Wait a minute. What?
It is what it is. But hold on. But VDA, I got something else. I got another thing I want to say. But I just wanted one more thing to say. Hold on, Jimmy, give me a fucking second.
Nobody's interrupting you. Go ahead, man.
Give me a second. Oh, I don't know. I must be hearing stuff. But I wanted to say before I leave VDA, because I love the VDA.
Sam, I was muted the whole time.
Hold on. I would really appreciate it if you can unblock my channel. I believe you did it because me and OG Boogie were having a feud where we kept donating $50. I was showing how much money I got, and I was kind of bragging and blah, blah. And that somehow you said, guys, enough's enough, and we weren't listening. And I believe that's when you blocked me, but it would really help me sleep better at night if you can unblock me, please.
Well, first of all, listen, Sam, I've already told you that if you want to sleep better at night, you got to go see this the psychologist we have over at the Canadian Veterans Center. Because, listen, some of the stuff we went through in Vietnam, that's a real problem right there. You got to listen. It wasn't your fault, Sam. It wasn't your fault, all right? It was crazy. Fucking, gook babies all over the place. It wasn't your fault, man. Come on.
Yeah, I get it. Well, anyways, like I said, I'd really appreciate it if you can, not take things to heart, because everybody here seems to take offense from me. I don't know why. Anything I do, it's like they get real pissy at me. Like,
and you're not the only one, man. You're not the only one.
Clearly, I'm not. If I do.
Chibi, you're not the only one. Look, Chibi's here today, and he got a little time to come on, and he's got a lot of enemies himself. I got enemies. We all got enemies. It's not you're not don't act like the Lopez is, and act like the whole world's against us. Nah, man. Everyone gets it every once in a while, man. It's part of the world. That's how the world works.
Yeah, but the difference is, listen, the difference between me and the Lopez's is they got millions. If I had the money they had, I would zip my cricket. I wouldn't even be talking. I'd be happy. You know what I mean? They got money. They're living life. They get to eat lobster. I don't eat lobster. When's the last time you had lobster, DDA? You're fucking miserable. You're eating that McDonald's shit, and you're telling me that I'd be like the Lopez's. I wish I had the money they had. But anyways, VDA, I don't want to take up your time. I appreciate it. You're a generous man. God, listen, VDA, God's got a special place in heaven for you because you really are great. And I love this show. I really do. And I'll let you guys get going. I thank you for your time, like always.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. And let me just say,
I'm your number one fan, by the way. Don't forget, I'm your number one fan.
I'm pretty sure you are. Thanks for the kind words. And let me just say that we're all equal in God's eyes. He does not have favorites, all right? Just ask Lucifer about that. He tried to get God against humanity, and look what happened to the guy. He ended up getting sent to hell.
Remember the apostles, BDA? Remember the apostles with Jesus Christ? Hey, who's the most special? They're all fighting.
Yeah, I remember that. And what did Jesus say? He said, "Shut the fuck up, you pussies. You're all the same." That's what he said. All right, let's go to another phone. Let's go to another phone call here. Very heartwarming phone call there from Slug Assam. 818, you're on the air. 818, what's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes, 818, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just had a question for you guys. The Rolly fight with Tank. I mean, I just want to know if what's your guys' opinion. Like, I feel that fight, Rolly's gonna get paid to lose that fight against Tank, because Rolly, he seems to be on it, like aggressive. He's not how many people think of him, like he's a dumb boxer, this and that. He's actually a short boxer though. He has a lot of power, a lot to offer to Tank. Tank does well as well, but I mean. So, it's, I don't know, to me it's going to be a 50-50. But to me, if he loses, I mean, I feel that if he loses, he's going to get paid to lose that fight. I mean, what do you think?
In my honest opinion, and I know that this might piss off the LDBC community, I want Rolly Monroe to win. I don't know why. I'm just rooting for him, man. I don't know why.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
Jimmy, do you think they need to rig
I was
this
just
fight,
wondering
or do you
about,
think Tank Davis is going to take care of it all by himself?
Yeah, I don't think they need to pay Rolly. Personally, I don't see it at all. I don't think he deserves to even be fighting Davis. He just shouldn't be fighting on a pay-per-view, and definitely not for a world title. I mean, can anybody even name somebody he's fought? Never mind the champion to put him in a position to fight for a world title, even though it's a junior belt. I mean, listen. There's a reason why Tank wants to leave him. I mean, he's promoted him till he's got good crowds, but yet Tank's still unhappy. Why is that? Because he knows he's turned his career into a fucking punchline.
Well, let me ask you something, Jimmy. Just a curious question. Like, so do you think that Gervonta Tank Davis could essentially compete with the Haneys and the Lomachenkos?
Not right into it. I think he needs to work back into it. He's developed so many bad habits. I mean, he's only 27 and he's the shell of the fighter he was when he fought Pedraza. So many bad habits. But when you're fighting guys with feather-fisted guys like Santa Cruz, who's all arm punch shoe shines to the point you're just letting it bounce off your head so you can line him up with the uppercut, your Instagram shot you were looking for all night.
No.
It's just smoke and mirrors, and you know what I mean? You get match soft, you become soft. That's just how it is.
That's
always
right.
has been, always will.
Well, listen, caller, does that sort of answer your question right there?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, listen, we got to move on. Almost done here on the show, but thank you for your call. Call back next time, all right, man? Good question.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good day. All right.
You too, man. Yeah, that's we're going to talk more about the fight as it gets nearer, because I do believe Romero's going to make him look bad, but I think that's the best he can do right now. I don't think he beats Gervonta Davis. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And okay, so all right. So we played that whole fucking Teofimo Lopez Sr. Now let's hear what Junior had to say. It was a much shorter interview because, as you're going to see, he didn't really like the questions he was getting.
Yo, Tszyu, can we just get a Haney Kambosos? Who do you think wins that fight, brother?
Oh, fuck. No, it's a made fight for Haney. Yeah.
In what way? What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean?
The whole shit was a scheme, bro. They had DAZN. I was on a DAZN platform. They gave it to Kambosos because they knew what I was going to do with it. They knew what I was going to do. I was going to drop him. Then it's a longer process for Devin to become, quote-unquote, undisputed.
So that right there lets you know. Let's say he's being honest. He said, the zone knew that I was going to vacate the belts, and so it was going to be harder for Haney to get to undisputed. So he's admitting he was going to drop the belts, and that begs the question, why did he want to take that Kambosos fight in the first place? And this goes back to something we were saying way back in the Triller days when he had just signed that deal, and the Teofimo Lopez fans were saying, no, he wants to keep the belts. And we were saying, well, why doesn't he give Lomachenko the rematch? And they said, well, it's because if he doesn't fight Kambosos, he's going to get stripped of the belts. Well, that didn't matter in the end because he was going to drop him anyway after the Kambosos fight. So the only reason he took the Kambosos fight was for the money. Remember, Triller was initially going to pay him $3 million as opposed to the 2 million that he ended up getting from Matchroom. I think that the next highest bidder. So in the end, it was all about the money. It wasn't about the belts. It was about the money and not giving Lomachenko a rematch.
Oh yeah, all those sorry, Jimmy. Just all those postponements. It's like, okay, you win money the night you fight, but like all those postponements, those many months, and those training camps, sparring partners, those bills start racking up. You're paying an entourage. You're paying your team. So like a week through, and month through, in and month out, that accumulates. So he was in the hole like for maybe 250,000. So yeah, he needed the money too.
Yep. And I like how he said, remember when Triller, we're working for people who appreciates my son. Remember how he was throwing shade at Top Rank, but the minute the fight was over and he lost, we're going back to Top Rank where they respect us.
And, he said it as if they had an option. As if they had an option to stay with the zone. That wasn't ever going to happen. It was a one-time thing. And like Gonzalo said, $3 million, all right, it's a lot. But then you got to pay the entourage, you got to pay the manager, McWater, whatever his name is, McDonald's. Then you got to pay Top Rank, is going to take a cut of that. Then you got to pay the tax man. So $3 million, I mean, I don't know how he spends his money, but yeah, man, it can go away pretty quickly. So, look, I don't...
And then
he got divorced, right? You got to pay the lady. He's got to pay the lady because he got child support now.
The old lady, yeah, he's got to pay the old lady.
And another thing we got to put into perspective, bro, as I was just thus hearing this thought, this dude, this freaking bum of a fighter, Teofimo Bitch Boy Lopez, literally won the belt and then only had one title defense. Before he won those belts and was about to have that title defense, he was already finna vacate the belt. If that's not ducking, I don't know what is.
Exactly. Shout out to Rex, by the way, for his contribution to the super chat. He says, Teo using his third eye. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, he's using his third eye. He's seeing things that we can't. He's seeing beyond the veil. He's stuck with the machine elves, and they're giving him all this information that we're not privy to. Absolutely right, Rex. You're right. Shout out to Rex for his contribution. Let's keep going here with what Lopez is saying. This conspiracy against him.
It's all a game, man. They pay that shit.
Isn't it gonna be tough to win in Australia though? Like if it's a setup, isn't it? When they set it up in America, not Australia, where why?
Everything's already made. It's everything. I had to see that for myself. So they already knew who won before they even fucking announced it. See the tapes.
Hey, Teo, what advice would you give Dev though on what he's got to do in the ring with Kambosos?
Fuck Buffalo.
Hey, Teo, is the hand okay, man?
Okay, so well, you can't see it here because I can't play the video really. But when he asked the interview, asked him, "Hey, what advice would you give to Haney?" And he just Lopez gave him a look of disgust, like, "Why the fuck did you just ask me?" And then the interview sort of realized that, and he tried to get him back and saying, "Hey, how's the hand? How's the hand?" And Lopez just walked away. So he's in a bit of a foul mood, and I do believe he will be in a fouler mood if he doesn't. He loses his next fight, because Top Rank might just be thinking, this kid, we can't rely on him. As soon as he gets another win, he might just try to get away from us again or try to negotiate for more money. But that's the other thing. Apparently, the contract said that he had to get a pay-per-view fight. So what's the pay-per-view fight going to be now? Taylor's moving up to 147, so that's over with. Yeah.
First off, they need to stop on it. I think they put too much salt in Teofimo eggs that morning, boy, because he is salty as fuck.
Well, I mean, listen.
I would imagine Ramirez. They could go with Ramirez, Jose Ramirez.
Pay-per-view?
I don't know if that's... Well, if you go by what PBC's putting on, I mean, for pay-per-views. But again, I know Top Rank has a different standard. They actually have one. So I don't know who they would put on as a pay-per-view. Like, it could have been Taylor, but he's moving up to 147. So I don't know who else does Top Rank have at 140, or is anybody else at 140 willing to fight him?
Well, they were saying Barboza, but again, that's not pay-per-view. So I could be wrong though, Jimmy, but maybe I don't know if he's contractual. They're contractually obligated to put him in there in a pay-per-view, or maybe when they said, yeah, you'll be in a pay-per-view, but maybe he'll be in the undercard. I don't know if the contract said he had to headline a pay-per-view, so I guess we'll see. But as you can tell just from the interviews, like Chibi said, Lopez, the both of them, pretty salty indeed. And you have to wonder, maybe they should have taken that Lomachenko rematch. Maybe they would have been beaten Lomachenko in a rematch, and they would have been able to avoid this whole malarkey that they're encountering now. But well, Jimmy, what do you think? I know we should have, could have, would have, but what would have happened in that Lomachenko rematch?
Oh, I think Lomachenko would have beat him.
Oh,
definitely. I think Lomachenko would have beat him in a rematch, and it's because of the weight issues. I think he was too much on him to keep trying to make 135, and I think Loma figured him out at the end of the fight, going away when he wasn't worried about trying to keep his shoulder fresh. He figured him out, and I think Lopez saw what everybody else saw, and I know that upsets. Was it MMA guy there who calls in? But it's the truth. Lomachenko was putting it on him, and I think going into the next fight, I mean, put it this way: if Lomachenko was the one instead of Haney going out to fight Kamboza, would you be more confident Lomachenko would beat him than Haney?
Yeah,
exactly. So he's a better fighter, and I think he would have figured him out, because he has such a varied arsenal. He can do a lot of different things differently. And again, to like what somebody said earlier, the kid doesn't even. He's only fighting at 135 because nobody at 130 would fight him.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I was thinking maybe for Lopez, because listen, we're shitting on him, but we never shit on a guy unless we have a resolution. And my resolution would be, yeah, maybe he shouldn't rematch Lomachenko now. But then again, that would have to be above 135. And I don't know if Lomachenko is crazy enough to do it at a catch weight that's above 135.
Yeah, his father said he won't allow him to fight. He's not going to allow him to fight above 135. That's supposedly what his father said. And I believe what his father says.
Well, there you go.
Lomachenko takes it serious.
There comes a point where, like, if you're smaller and you're fighting a bigger guy, your punches are not even going to move the other guy. When you're kind of the same size, even though you're not a puncher, you could punch a little. You still have a chance of rocking that dude off his axis, off his legs, shaking him up. When you're that much bigger, it's like hitting not a brick wall, but hitting something that doesn't budge.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact.
No, absolutely, man. You're right. And you know what? Tony Boswell, shout out to Tony in the chat, says Regis Prograde is fixing to have 140 on lock. I had forgotten about Prograde, or to mention him rather. That's another fight that apparently they were talking about, the Lopez and Prograde. But again, Prograde, who knows what his management is, promotion. I don't know if maybe he would be willing to make that fight.
Probellum. I believe it's Probellum.
Right, Probellum. Oh, man, let me tell you, Prograde looked good. Prograde looked very good. That's a tough fight for Lopez at 140, man, right off the bat.
The only thing about Probellum, you got dealing with Richard Schaefer, so that can always be a pain in the ass. Which nobody ever talks about. He's like, oh, he's starting his new company, the Probellum. What happened to World Star? Remember World Star? He started a new promotional company. What happened to that one? He did the Super Series for a while, and all of a sudden that just dried up.
Is it because people just don't trust him anymore, or?
I mean, the shit he pulled on Oscar was so wretched. I wouldn't trust that fucker as far as I could throw him.
And by the way, I know this don't have nothing to do with the whole Lomachenko nonsense, but nobody don't feel like that we're finna have a real big upset when Errol Spence fight Ugas, because I'm honestly rooting for Ugas. I honestly think he's finna win this fight, and then he's gonna be the one that fights Terrence Crawford. Nobody else have not been feeling those vibes. I mean, we already know Canelo's finna lose, and we already know Shakur Stevens finna dominate what's called it, but that's besides the point. With the whole Ugas versus Errol Spence, y'all not feeling that energy that Ugas is really finna win this shit?
Well, why are you?
I think it would have to be one way, because I don't think they're going to take the belt from Spence. Sorry, B. Diego.
I'm just curious why Chibi's rooting for Ugas.
But I want for Ugas, bro. Because I know for a fact Ugas is a warrior. If Ugas win this, I feel like if Ugas wins this fight, he's going straight for Terrence Crawford. If Errol Spence were to win this fight, even though he's allegedly said that, I'm going to fight Terrence Crawford right after this, I feel like he's going to come up with some type of excuse to not fight, to prolong it. And I think he's playing the game on aging out Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford is getting older, and I think that's what he's been doing. And with Errol Spence, and we got to take all the motion of what's been going on with Errol Spence. Errol Spence have not been active. He only the last time he fought, I think, was 2019 or 20. And Ugas, bro, he had put on a professionally beat down on Manny Pacquiao. Like he beat him in a devastating fashion. Like he beat the shit out of him through the whole fight.
And you know what, man?
What were you watching, dude? You didn't beat the shit out of him. I believe he won, but that was the shell of Manny Pacquiao. He was 43 years old. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But I mean, Ugas has the length and stuff, but I don't know. I agree. I think he's been ducking Crawford, but you got to remember, Sheba, you always forget Ugas is with the PBC. What makes you think, even if Ugas, I'm not saying he doesn't want to fight Crawford, I'm not saying he's ducking him, but what makes you think how many receipts do you need? The fighter saying, I didn't even know about this offer. I mean, Charlo straight up says, Al Heyman didn't even tell me about the offer. So remember, they can't even get in negotiations with somebody without a written consent from Al Heyman. That's how much under the thumb he is over there. So they only fight who Al says to fight, and right now Al's not looking to do fights with anybody outside the PBC.
Okay, Jimmy, then let's go off your logic, Jimmy. From what you've been saying the past few months prior, that Al Heyman has been Al Heyman's been killing the PBC and everything. No matter who wins this fight out of Ugas or Spence, regardless of the situation, that would be a mega fight in its own right. So why wouldn't he say, oh, okay? And then on top of that, Terrence Crawford is a free agent as of right now. Why wouldn't they make that fight happen?
Terrence Crawford was already a free agent before the Ugas signing. You know what I mean? Going out, he could have signed with them, and then when he went across the street, they slammed the door in his face because he straight up said, Tim Smith said, we're not even going to offer Crawford, we didn't even offer him any money because we don't want to insult him. Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Because I think what it is, they know that Crawford doesn't have the name or the pay-per-view numbers. If Crawford was pulling down Canelo numbers, they would have fucking got him on there because they would have just worried about that. But yes, I believe there was a chance for he'd have to sign him because that's the thing with Hell. He wants to be able to get the 15% on both fighters. Like when he signed Canelo to that deal, he got 15% of Canelo's pay that night.
Well, let me tell you.
Can I clear something up real quick, BD?
Yes.
Black TV, Pacquiao, because you're making this look bad, man. Well, man, you're making yourself look bad. You guys didn't beat Pacquiao in devastating fashion. He caught him coming in more than a few times, and he connected. And the judges saw that. It was a pretty close fight, but he didn't give him a beatdown. That's all, man.
When I said that he beat him in devastating fashion, I forgot to tell you guys I don't like Pacquiao. So,
what's the matter with him?
I think that was pretty evident.
Okay.
How can anybody not like Pacquiao, man? Come on.
He's coming off that win. It was a while ago, but that's a left-hander, so you just got the privilege of fighting one left-hander prior to fighting another one in Spence. So we'll see, man. You guys is pretty physical. He's strong, so yeah, it's a 50-50 fight, though, Shibi.
Yeah,
all right, well, listen, we'll have to see what happens with that fight. I think it's a good fight, Ugas Spence, and it's going to be interesting. If Ugas beats Spence, are people going to put asterisks next to his wins? Because again, Pacquiao old, Spence coming off a 2-year layoff, so it's going to be interesting to see what people say afterwards, if indeed Ugas can pull it off. So we'll have to wait for that one. In any event, fellas, we do have to go. We've been on for close to 3 hours, so we're going to wrap it up.
You have to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's right.
Hold on. Before we go, I just gotta ask Gonzalo one question. Gonzalo, do you think the Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson is a 50-50 fight?
Yeah, I'll tell you why it's a 50-50 fight. Although Shakur's heavily favored. Just real quick, one guy likes to go to war while the other one doesn't. That makes it 50-50 in my eyes. Later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his only drawback. My only knock on Shakur right now at this point, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that ability to want to go to war yet. Right now, he's just out. I think he's head and shoulders and skill-wise above Valdez. Does he have the cojones to go along with the fucking hands? We'll see.
Well, we know he can box, but has he ever been in a fucking fight? Like LT asked a while back, and that's what we're going to have to see. And that's what Valdez needs to make it. Yeah, Valdez needs to make it a fight. He can't box one punch at a time the way he did against Tszyu. And Stevenson, for his part, he has to make it exciting and he has to make it impressive, because if he just goes there and outpoints Valdez the same way Tszyu did, a big deal. Tszyu already did it. We want something impressive. All right? That's my demand. I demand. All right, listen, fellas, thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that called in, all the people that wrote in. Don't forget, you can write to us over there at the email address that's on the description. I don't have it with me right now. Sorry about that. Shout out to everybody that joined us on the panel. And shout out to everybody in the chat room. You guys know who you are. I'm talking about Jason Costa. I don't know if he's Greek or Latino or whatever. Neil Simpson. That's Greek. That's Greek, all right? He's going to eat a gyro afterwards. It was that stereotypical? I'm sorry. Shadow Combat, What About Me, Eparokua, The Quags, Rafael Garza, One Foot Out the Door. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Norman Louis, Fast Car, Iceman, Wise Guy, Triple JJJ. Shout out to Triple JJJ, Grievous, Ra-C, Wise Guy, Oscar Prince Boateng, What About Me, Rex, T-Rex, if I forgot anybody, guys, we gotta go, but you guys know who you are. Thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution as well. Another big thumbs up for him. And we'll catch you in the next one, fellas. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, Omar E has become a sponsor. Shout out to Omar E for becoming a sponsor. Really appreciate you. Good to have you under the BDA umbrella. Welcome to the organization.